Welcome, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to Chats with Jack. It's Jack Talcott. Talcott time, as some may say. Tonight, we're going to discuss the art of relaxation and open the panel up. We'll have some guests, hopefully. I know invitations have been made. Um, but, for those who have been paying attention to Jack and to the stories I've been sharing, I make a lot of claims, but I'm pretty sure this live without fear, there, wherever there is, I'm pretty sure this live without fear. It's the right time. It's the right time for our world to understand what that means, how to overcome the fears, and how to relax, man. There is something to the benefits of relaxation. And maybe you haven't had a chance to discover those yet, but God bless, man. Praise be. I have. See, the past few years in my path and my purpose of self development and trying to expand my mind and, learn different things, I dove into the spirituality quite a bit. And that's been discussed here on many different occasions in many different ways. But the spiritual aspect of becoming whole, holy, set apart, distinct from the rest, and that one is complete, balanced. And the balance is the combination of the masculine and the feminine, and recognizing myself honestly of who I have been and who I am today. I used to be a chauvinistic pig, man. I was kind of arrogant and ungrateful. I was not a real, you know what? I wasn't bad. I wasn't bad, but I was a lot better. I could have been a lot better, and I know a lot differently today. Okay. I started with that for some reason. Please forgive me. Um, Hey, you know what? Let me take a moment while I gather my thoughts to thank those who are tuned in and have been tuning in. Freedom Grower, I saw you in the chat. Christos, Jeff Hates Pigs, the Talcott Express. I am Jack Talcott's deteriorating mind. Much love. And Paul Laporta, welcome. Blessings, my friend. Another day, another beautiful day for us. The art of relaxation and my development in the growth of who I am. I used to be an insecure man, if I'm honest, but I presented myself as though I had confidence. Eventually, it became true. But in hindsight, I recognize my insecurities were kind of an arrogance. And I really didn't appreciate the more delicate things in life, the beauty of a flower, right? The scent of a rose, the the beauty of the feminine aspects of life. I denied them from myself. And in hindsight, God bless her, my mother, it's clearly I had mommy issues. Um, she's and mom was is such an amazing woman. She taught me how to fight, taught me how to never fucking quit, never back down. She taught me to care deeply, to care so much. She's a great example. But I didn't have respect for her. And so as a result of that, I kind of denied the feminine aspects of me. And I didn't respect the feminine. I didn't respect women. Um, as I started developing myself, facing my shadows, my insecurities, recognizing the flaws that I had within me, I started, admittedly, men, listen up. I started embracing, kind of those women things like getting a manicure, getting a massage, getting your with the pedicure thing, your feet done. Man, that shit is nice. It feels good to have someone take care of you, man. Holy cows. And it feels good to take care of yourself. That's what I've been learning. You feel good when you take care of yourself. And when you take care of yourself, you care about what's around you. And that'll include other people. You know, I do remember receiving a lot of suggestions from health conscious friends in my life, in my past. I do remember people, kind of suggesting, "Hey, Jack." Well, they didn't really take the time though. I saw the difference. I saw people who were like healthy and you know doing shit, and I was like, I don't understand that. Where's my whiskey? Holy cows, man! The past will always be what it was. Um, where I'm at today and over what I've been learning over the past few years is first of all, how much I did not know. And in hindsight, I spent many, many years kind of ignoring the opportunities to learn that every day brings to us. And the thoughts kind of finally started setting in for me a few years ago that while I've been doing my thing, there's been a lot of other people learning and doing a lot of things that I don't know about. A lot of discoveries are being made in science and nutrition. There's a lot of secrets being revealed, a lot of the corruption and evidence of history, a lot of more pieces are coming to light. There's a lot more information. We live in the information age, brothers and sisters. And we live actually in an infinite realm of knowledge. It's so divine. It's so cool. Life. Life is pretty cool. And that's the best way to relax is to become grateful, right? To recognize that, holy cows, man. While life can be challenging, especially mentally, psychologically, even physically, life can be a challenge. There's a lot of things you got to take care of, but it really is. Life is a miracle. It's a miracle that we live every day. I mean, because think about that. Every day we go through our day, we do what we got to do. You know, we are how we are. And then every day, each of us, we go to bed and we like totally drift from consciousness. It's like we totally disappear from our participation in this world. Yet the entire world is changing. Everything is continuing, society, wars, all of the markets, all of this stuff, it's all happening. And we're just like out of the world. And we are. Many people remember their dreams and their travels and all this stuff that happens in the invisible realms. And then we return. And it's like the story just continues until it stops. And then, there's a lot of people that spend time in the life arguing about what happens beyond, but do we know? You can't know. You cannot know. Like if you're in a container, right? You're in like a Tupperware container. you can't know what is beyond the container until you exit the container. In this container we are in, call it life, space and time, who knows? We just know that we are. And the knowing that we are apparently is what puts us separate from the other animals. You know, I got a couple of cats, and earlier on a different platform, we were talking about the dogs, seeing the dogs. You know, that's kind of cool about being a humans. We like take animals from outside and we bring them inside. And we are animals, just figured out how to build shelters, how to move around a little more efficiently. Well, we move as we do, but there's something that puts us a different and distinct from the animals, and it's the awareness that we are. But what are we? Who are you? Who am I to ask you who you are? Why, I am you, of course. Hey, Moose, can you join in, or can we, for those folks in the chat, Provo Kid, I see you down there. You'd be a welcome guest to join in.
Greetings, Jack. How are you doing, man?
I'm blessed, man. I mean, actually, I can keep going. I'm having fun. This is what I do a lot by myself, is I just allow, amen. I just allow thoughts to guide my travels, and I just wonder. Because
You wonder what are you wondering, Jack?
I wonder about everything. That's the idea of the scripture, right? You must have the mind of a child to enter the kingdom of heaven. So I've allowed my mind to return, I think, to that of a child, in that I stay curious and I allow myself to get lost within the moments. And as I go through the day, actually,
Uh,
unless you got something to say, Moose, I was going to
I
throw
do,
you.
I do. We've got people out there. They're criticizing. We only got 17, 18 people watching today. They have to understand that we do have people out there boycotting the show because as the show started rising, people started getting angry and they said, "Oh, well, we're not going to come back," or whatnot. Um, Folks, these viewers, they're genuine. They love us. They love you, and you need to hop on the Talcott train and just enjoy it, dude. Enjoy the ride. So I had a question for you though, Jack. How do you personally incorporate relaxation techniques into your own life, and what are some of the benefits of doing that?
Dude, that's the here. Thank you. The benefits and how I practice relaxation and stuff. I've taught myself many things about my body. That's kind of where I was going before I brought you up too. Is that with the idea that there's many people making many discoveries. There's books out there. I came across. I mentioned his name once before. He got a book called Biohacking, and it's all these newer technologies and old path methods of improving your body. And we are at a point in the evolution of humanity where, should we change our ways? Should we start working together and start sharing technology and knowledge with one another? There's a chance we could be the generation that chooses when they want to die. I mean, we could literally, there's sciences that I've learned of and technologies, and there's many, you know what, guys, those who are new and joining the Talcott The Talcott train, those who are joining this live without fear. And this purpose, this message, we are part of something big. Where I was saying is there's a lot of other paths that are moving. There's a lot of other movements that have been gaining steam, and that's where a lot of my inspirations have come from, is from the other movements that I've discovered, the other teachers, the other scientists that are alive today. We have so much hope and so much, there's so many reasons to be grateful. So the question was asked about my practice. Ties into my spiritual practice as well, in that I believe our creator, it's beyond words. Like, it's a force, it's a verb, it's not even a thing, it's just undefinable. But our creator might best be known from the people I've talked to. I've talked to a lot of people who said, reporting near death experiences. I've talked to and heard about a lot of people reporting near death experiences, out of body, supernatural experiences. Their explanation is they became in the presence of God. And the similarity I've received from all of them is it's just like dissolving into pleasure. It's like a bliss. So that's what I believe our creator is bliss. And it makes sense too. From the emanations of bliss would emerge the force of love. And it's through the force of love that all movement happens. It's like the unseen power that drives us all. And you can logically explain that too, because as a person, as a being, if you just sit still as you are, you are. And there is no, you don't have to move, you don't have to do anything special in order to be. And you can stay still as you are, like a tree or a plant, whatever. You can like root yourself into your being nature, into the stillness of now, and then not move. And that practice is what, that's what a lot of people do. The yogis going up in the cave, they sit still. They dissolve themselves from the desire of of the nature of conditioning that formed us. And what formed us is the Maya, the dream, the illusion formed us. And so the idea of stillness and love being the movement, it's like you can sit and be still until your mind, your ego mind, brings thoughts. And so the thoughts, they don't have to move you, but once there's a thought with desire, you find a desire within you. Oh, I want to move my position, or I want to go get something to drink, I want to go get something to eat, or whatever. The desire is going to move you. So it's like all of this stuff can be explained on so many different levels. That's why I feel pretty confident presenting myself as I do, because the truth resonates like on, well, it's supernatural, resonates on supernatural, multi-dimensional layers. The truth is real. So these things I'm explaining, it's just logic through that can be demonstrated with example in the physical, the mental, and the spiritual realm, that God is the truth. And it's through love that we know the truth.
Hey, brother. I didn't mean to interrupt your beautiful monologue, but check this out. We got Sly Shy down there. We got Wildlife. We got Freedom Grower. Thank you guys for coming out. Jeff hates pigs. We got 6079 Smith. He says that he would come up, but he doesn't think you want to talk about Revelation tonight. So if you do want to talk about Revelations, he'll come up. Sly Shy thinks that we're gonna leave her in the basement. Sly Shy, I already talked to Jack Talcott about you, and we thought that it would be a wonderful thing to have you on this broadcast. We've even asked you to come up. That would be amazing. Christos, we'd love for you to come up. Rob Cleveland, you're the man, dude. Uh, we'd love to have you. All right, Jack. Now I got another question for you to throw you back on topic, and then I'll get out of here. Um, how often should people incorporate like relaxation techniques like massage, going on nature hikes, breathing exercises, and whatnot into their daily routine, or weekly, or monthly?
Brother, thank you. Beautiful question. And to bring me back on point. Before I get back on point, Freedom Grower talking about nature and natural. You'll come, I will come up if I can be of assistance. Oops, where we go? Hey, brother, you're welcome. Come on up, man. Um, I believe what assists the time is, enlightened conversation. And enlightened conversation means sharing the wisdom that we know. And for those who don't know Freedom Grower, he's a man who knows. He knows much. He's a wise man. um, the question, though, of how often, it kind of does bring me back to topic where I started with God is bliss. And so spend time in bliss each day, right? Start a practice of it. And if you got to schedule it, do it. But spend time in your version of bliss, um, all alone. Not not in erotic ways, but you know, well, my method is massage. I spend a lot of time in massage. That's my method of yoga, bringing the mind and body together. And so, you know, I do. I stretch, lots of massage, and I'm mindful about the moment and the fact that I am bringing myself pleasure and that the divine is that which allows me to allow myself pleasure because I'm making the time. And so the reality is, in my mind, God is beyond me and within me, but there is no separation. I am the God of my life. I am the creator of that which I allow to move me. Those words were just then. Hey, I did see my invitation was accepted. Please, Freedom Grower, aka Dick, welcome, brother. How you doing today?
Yo, Jack. Hey, have you ever used one of these yoga swings?
Yoga swings.
Oh, they're epic, man. Commonly, maybe misinterpreted as some kind of sexual device or something because they make swings like that specifically for stimulation in the erotic zones. But this one is more of just a workout kind of therapeutic inversion machine, if you will. I got one that was my wife's, but ironically, my inversion machine broke, which I don't know if you've ever had one of those, but that's epic just to be able to hang upside down and release the vertebrae and allow all that decompression. That'll change your life right there. And I think cause spiritual enlightenment at some level too, because you're lining up all the passageways to your brain, that allows that gut instinct and everything to reflow in a more harmonious way. So then you tie in the yoga swing, and then all of a sudden you're swinging back and forth, and you're like a monkey in the jungle, or there's something very natural about that feeling of just maybe
Mm.
it's like an ocean tide or whatever. But I get into that, man.
Dude, I think I'm imagining it. I can see that. I can see the benefit. What you're that inversion? I picked one of those up myself. I've got an inversion
Did you?
table,
Oh,
and
you'll love that. You'll get
dude,
addicted to it. The first time I did it, where I really relaxed, and you know how in meditation you can focus on your body and really allow it to just release and relax and go into deeper levels of that relaxation, almost to the point where you have a sense of uh, not having any connection to the body if you take it so far. And if you get that relaxed state and meditate while you're on the inversion machine, all of a sudden vertebrae starts letting go that you didn't need to, and it's a euphoric experience. I mean, it's emotional. You'll have and anyway, so the first time I did it, I had movement that I had never had in my life, and it was like, fuck, man, did I just hurt myself? Did I
right.
paralyze myself? You know, what did I do here? But I guess I was just a virgin on the inversion machine. I needed to break myself in a little bit.
No, dude, that sounds so beautiful. I mean, that's kind of what I'm talking about. There's so many things we don't know. And I'd seen those inversion tables, never really tried it. I picked one up and I haven't it's been quite a while since I've even used it, but what you're saying, Dick, about allowing yourself to really relax into a meditative state, that makes that I'm going to try that. And
It's
what you
key.
said what you what you said too about the release, our bodies do carry the tension. We carry the history of our tension within us, and there's a lot of science.
Man, I in particular was driving uh, thousands of miles on the road every year, so I would have that compression right in the lower lumbosacral, I think they call it, in that zone there where it meets your buttocks, and it was just intense pain. I mean, it was so compacted, and that was exactly what it was for me. That release was spiritual. It was a amazing thing, but it was also, picture this, because I'd went from just that city driving chaotic 3 weeks out of every month on an airplane or some kind of rental car to coming out in the sticks, and I bought the inversion machine off Craigslist and stuck it out on the land. So now I'm sitting in nature upside down watching grasshoppers jumping around and butterflies fly, and so you could find that release state a lot easier too.
Dude, that sounds beautiful. And so yeah, you experience like a transformation, a spiritual just from you
People don't
went
know
from the
how
city
simple they
to
can make their life epic, Jack. Like
yes.
if you just go in nature and turn yourself upside down, that body rush natural high alone, I mean, you can't help but, I mean, and maybe for some people they'd be risking their life because it would be too much of a health trauma or something to make that blood flow work that way. But in general, if you're in decent health, I can only imagine be a good experience for you, and uh, you'd probably get addicted to it. And what a healthy addiction, you know, turn yourself upside down, or getting in cold water. People laugh at this stuff, right?
That
The Wim
too.
Hof. You and
No,
I like
yeah.
to loop on that, but I'll go on that all day because what the hell? Like, what's to laugh at? It's self-discipline, and you get a huge benefit, and it like gives you superpowers and allows you to have a calmness and stillness and be able to tap into autonomic aspects of yourself that uh, would otherwise probably be limiting you, but then you can tap into them and actually gain in your performance. That's incredible.
Amen. Amen. Dude, you said a bunch. Simplify. That was something I realized quite a few years ago. And I encourage anyone listening today, anyone listening in the future, please inspire yourself. How can you simplify your life? Because this is your life to live. And if you can simplify it, do it. And if you can improve it, do it. And start by taking care of yourself, right? Get it. Maybe you don't necessarily have to go hang yourself upside down in nature, but it apparently worked for Dick.
You can, though. I mean, you and I've talked about this before. You have to give yourself permission to love yourself if necessary, because no one's going to tell you if someone might perceive it as lazy, right? And you say, "Well, I just need to sit here until things work correctly. I don't even have the energy, the strength." So you got to sit on a couch and meditate and get yourself better. Uh, some people say you need to go off and do whatever allopathic thing, and but you find that stillness and you find your peace to what some might perceive as unproductive is your path of healing. So you just have to know what you're actually doing with your time. Is it really intentional? Are you in that strong place of pursuit, a life purpose? And then you don't have to worry about what anybody says, because somebody will say somebody's being lazy or somebody's being productive, and they may be right, they may be wrong, but it all comes down to that perspective.
Dick, I love it. Again, you're saying a lot, man.
We got to love
It,
ourselves, man. We got to give
that,
ourselves that space. So if you got to hang upside down, or for me it's just hiking. If I don't get hikes in,
oh,
I notice real quickly my body chemistry gets off, my alchemy is out of sorts, and it's just, part of my routine.
that was one of the questions we were going to get to is how do you get started getting yourself out on these hikes? How do you get started to start taking care of yourself? And it comes down to how do you break the old habits of being the way you were, and are you ready? Are you ready to change the habits of being how you used to be? And are you willing for something different, something better? Because getting back to nature, seriously, we are natural beings living unnaturally. We're not supposed to be living, many of us are living too disconnected from nature. We're disconnected from the food we eat. We're disconnected from what is natural. The someone I heard someone mention this recently, the perspective of, and I, I've grown up in the woods and spent time in not big cities, but big city, but in cities and towns. They're settlements, right? Our houses are shelters. Our communities are settlements. The parks are just where we didn't overgrow. So I think as humans, here's the future I see, honestly. And back to the point of relaxation. It's important for us to find ways to relax into who we are. And what Dick was saying, sometimes you may need to sit on the couch and meditate, really go within and reflect. That was one of the dilemmas I had when I started really understanding the bliss of solitude. When I really started going into meditation and exploring the different subtleties and the different energies and the different things you can discover, I really spent time considering going entering monastic studies, go become a monk and just spend the days doing that.
Yeah, because it's a season. I mean, you won't do it forever, and you'll find a place where you say, "Okay, well, I need to re-engage or go about some activity, some pursuit outside of the stillness." But I've looked at things along those lines. I mean, I thought about doing one of those ceremonies where you don't speak for a week or 2 weeks, and you enjoy meals with people, but you can't even use sign language, no mannerisms. You can't even maintain eye contact, I don't believe, beyond a certain period of time. And so there's all these disciplines that go along with it to just keep you honest that the point is to go within. You don't have any distraction. You have to take that journey regardless of whether you even want to, which might be very painful because what's staring at you there, you've been avoiding so much. So you're going to have to deal with some internal wounds and traumas and wrongful conclusions, these demons. But what a wild excursion. And you find out so many people, they can't hack it, Jack. They can't make it because it's too intense. It's too much pain. that silence, that stillness, it haunts them.
You said you did one of those?
No, I said
Oh,
I
oh,
considered that. You know,
oh, okay.
I spend
I
a
w-
lot of time in stillness though, so I mean, I think I would fare better than most, but at the same time, I'm sure that's strong ego talking. And about 2 days into it, I'd probably really be fighting that voice that was so confident.
I don't know, Dick. After after getting to see you a little bit, I think you'd do all right. Are you familiar
I have
with
big ego about it though. There's a part of me that thinks, yeah, man, I would just cruise through that because I totally dig that shit. You know, just chilling out with self and contemplating and prognosticating, being in my imagination, right? But it would be too much. At some point, you'd just be like, man, I hate myself or something, right? Like, get me out of here. I can't listen to the voices in my head anymore.
there is that. Hey, not to name drop, but to share the intention. You familiar with the name of Aubrey Marcus on YouTube?
Yes! Yes!
No, but I take it that's Moose back there with his amazing production skills, just putting all the necessary
Yeah.
sparkle and
So
pizzazz on the
I had,
production.
I had,
Thank you,
you
Moose.
know, I never tested that one out. So, so have you
Your
guys ever
timing is
been in a?
impeccable.
Have you ever been in a sensory deprivation tank, like float
I
tank?
thought you were going to say a septic tank for a moment, and I was going to say I actually, in fact, have, but sensory
Oh yeah,
deprivation.
I have too, and it's not pretty.
Well, fortunately, it wasn't full of any type of sewage, so that's a good thing
Amen to
about it. It
that.
was a new septic, but I've seen them go in. Uh, you were in one that actually had. Did you take a swim, Moose? How did that work out?
Oh no, I didn't actually like take a swim, but the tank overfilled, so we had to release some of the toxic sludge to get to the filter. Was definitely not it was obviously Jack shaking his head over here.
So,
Uh
would you just
it wa-
like? How did you get yourself out of this mess? I mean, this. Now I'm
Called
interested.
a professional. Called a professional.
Okay. You called a man to come deal with your shit, huh?
You have to. You have to call a professional when you're dealing with human feces and stuff.
Hey,
Those
I,
guys are
w-
wild. I sorry, I'm taking his way off track.
I want to bring us back on track. And actually, the question Moose asked was just what I was getting ready to bring up with Aubrey Marcus. He's he's a guy doing some pretty cool things as far as inspiration and education, and he put himself through, I think it was a week long dark room uh, test through an experience. He committed himself to sitting in the dark for a week and kind of went through his development. And some of that was exactly what you were describing. It requires the sacrifice of the ego in order to overcome the senses. But that's part of this game though too. Part of what I've been learning and part of what I've been wanting to share too is the shoot, that was my bad.
What's wrong?
You were wanting to share
Lost
about.
my thought.
I think the ego is where you were going, and then you wanted to share something. Um, but maybe you wanted to share a perspective on the ego. Wherever I go, ego, they go,
Oh,
you go.
thank you, Dick, thank you. The idea of the sacrifice of the ego, it's actually just that, the surrender of desire. And we do that through strengthening our self-control. It's just like a as a child develops. That's why I brought this out. I read this book a few years ago, Self Illusion. It's not one I'd really recommend, but it's got a lot of references in it, and it's a well resourced book. But it talks about the development of a child. Hey, John, welcome. Talks about
Assalamualaikum.
the development.
Hey, Jack, could you tell your handlers I really do appreciate them straightening the fireplace, though? Because that definitely helps just, the presentation, everything here. So there's a lot of questions about that. And I think the fire's kind of died down now on the fireplace conspiracy gate. But
the voices were heard, and I think the producers were listening. The programmers of me.
I noticed that straightened right up after that broadcast. Now it's perfect, It's very nice.
Attempts to improve are always made. How you doing,
Don't you
John?
always just feel good when you're just like, because I complained and they changed now? That actually happened to me at a store. There was this like kombucha bottle that there was only one that was like $3, and when I scanned it, it was like $3.99. And so I said, "Hey, can you do a price check?" And then they were too busy to do a price check, and they're just like, we'll just give it to you for $3. The next time I go there, that same one, it's $3.99 now. So I'm just like, because of me now. They had to change that price. So yeah, I don't know. It pays to raise a fuss, I don't know. Just thought I had to put my 2 cents out there.
It pays to present facts.
Absolutely.
That's what matters. Hey,
Absolutely.
my mind.
Hey, you know what? Moose says I'm screwing with you guys. I'm not. Even when I brought that up, Jack, the screen, like, focus. Like, there's a producer behind there that's, like, controlling the whole stage set. So there's something behind this conspiracy, Jack. I mean, it's not just like we're just reaching at straws here. I think there's really something there. What do you think, Paul? We on to something?
Might be. Hold on just a second.
My mind got shut up, Lou, you fat pig in my ear. 1 second, Jack Talcott. I've got a asylum full of chimpanzees, as always. Dick, they want to know specifically this fat pig, Lewis, from Canada. I'm sure you remember him. He wants to know why you never come over to the other, that place. We won't mention it on Jack's platform, but that other place. How come you never come over there? And John Vance doesn't either.
Oh.
You're
right,
muted, dude.
right.
You're muted, brother.
Oh, see, Jack, you're supposed to have a little fun with that. Let him go into the whole thing. Go ahead, Dick. Take a hit of fentanyl there, powdered fentanyl, I presume. Much like
Are we
the
having
angel.
a good discussion? Should I come over? I'll join you guys. You want me to come over?
Oh, okay. So I see. See, Dick's good at this whole like LA passive aggressive deal. Oh, you guys having a good discussion for once? If that's happening, I'll come over. But usually,
Yeah, I'll come over. I don't.
I'll come over if Lewis will do a halal slaughter. I'll come over if he does a halal slaughter.
But silence is
this
golden.
idiot gonna start bringing up every Muslim term he's ever learned now in the past 2 weeks? Halal slaughter.
Well, I will say though, you learn a lot by taking a step back and just listening and observing instead of always trying to have something to say. And with your broadcast in particular, I was very engaged and contributing on a very consistent basis. And frankly, I have a lot of shit I'm trying to get done in my life. So the amount of time that I am addicted to it in certain terms. So it's more productive for me to just play it in the background and go about my duties and get my shit done.
I like that, Dick. You know what? Don't change that. That means I'm doing something good. I want to be the guy in everyone's ear while they go to work and do everything. I'm like on the path to Rogan status. First off, before we continue, John Vance, assalamu alaikum.
Whoa.
Walaikum salam.
I was just sharing some peace and blessings with my Muslim brother here. Go ahead, Jack Talcott. I don't mean to interrupt and be rude.
Forgive my interruption for that purpose. Golly geez. Welcome, brother unslaved, unslavious. Paul, thank you. Welcome for joining. What I was trying to get to, the reason I brought up a couple of those comments, enslaved by truth, man. I see your comments. You crack me up, dude. You got a sense of humor. You're welcome to join here whenever you choose. And Joe Cool, thank you, brother. You were in my thoughts and conversations earlier. I want to talk to you. I want to connect for reasons other than right here.
Do you have someone working this panel right now?
Yes.
Yeah, I can feel that. I'm not really liking that. And again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you my feedback. Horrible. Whoever that is back there, horrible at what they do. They still haven't figured out, right? And I hope you don't have a producer that calls himself a producer and still hasn't figured out how to check that box that says push the screen up when comments are made. Because he keeps putting the damn comments up one after the other, flipping boxes around, and he's putting them right over John Vance's face. That doesn't work. So just check the box that says move the screen up and comments are shown. Come on now.
Yeah.
It's hard to find good. Yeah, there's look, and now Vance is faceless again. We think we're back in, 2-3 years ago. You know what I'm talking about? He's got no face anymore. No, that's not. Oh, man.
On mine, it's checked. Shift videos up for comments and banners.
Yeah.
Is it not here? Well, it's not. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Thank you for pointing that out.
I think there's a second one you got to do because it's, I don't know. Let's check. Let's blame StreamYard. Okay.
No,
let's find
Hey, it's rookies. We're learning and growing. We're not well, I don't know. I never claimed to know what the hell
I think Paul just hates change. He just hates change. He hates that. He hates the idea of someone operating your broadcast now.
Yeah, it's not even the idea of change. Change is the only constant. We know that. That's ancient wisdom. It's just got to be change for the better, right? You go from Talcott, captain in this ship, riding the train, and then next thing you know, I got some miscreant back there. I can only imagine who it is running this show. It's laughable. Right, we don't go backward; we move forward. So yeah, we'll have to talk about that. I think after the show, Jack. Right after this is not the time. Jeez,
Paul, I freaking love you. How did your afternoon go through? Hey, and I think everyone should know by now. Paul Unslave, proper instruction motivates people. That's where I was restreaming from earlier today. So please check that out as well. How'd your day go, brother? I know you were dealing with some interruptions, but things working out. I'm glad you're here. That's the point.
Right.
That's the point. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, we're still here doing what we do, but no resolution, no remedy. They're fucking everybody, cutting off PayPal accounts. This is common in this business, Jack, in the flow business that we're in. This is common. Because we're a threat to these people, not because we're going to do harm to anybody, precisely the opposite, because we refuse to be part of their system of causing loss, injury, and harm to ourselves and others, and we stand for objective truth and a change. I'll speak for I can't speak for we. I'll speak for I. You may agree.
We do.
My channel got taken down.
Amen.
Later,
and hold on, John.
While
John,
ago.
hold on.
I'm sorry.
I want to say,
okay.
I see John, this guy.
I gotta say thank you
with the interruptions,
Paul.
And then
Paul.
Go ahead.
Come on, you're interrupting me. Interrupting John.
Bootlicking, man. You're interrupting John.
Me. No, you're interrupting me.
No, you're interrupting.
Can I say something, guys?
Okay, but the truth is, he's interrupting John.
Numbers are rising. Thank God.
And he's bootlicking on me, and Jack doesn't like that.
You know what?
And no one else down there either. Carl, the antediluvian.
Numbers are rising. The people love this.
Who's on first? No, he's on second. No.
Bruce, why do you look like a human Q-tip? Can I see you again? What is that? What is that? He looks like some kind of sea creature now, with all the hair off of him. Some kind of a fish, an eel. Can I see you and John Vance with that? I love you guys. I could talk shit, but I do love you guys. I don't know what happened. It was the retrograde, and then some other kind of event happened, and then next thing you know, we were merged. I think it was partially John Vance's converting to Islam that did it as well. He's got a light in his eyes.
It's a combination
Peace be upon you all.
Hey, you mentioned there's something with the energies of the moon. There's like an eclipse or some shit going on today, supposedly. And And all this stuff, it really does affect us. It's the subtleties. There's like so many energies in the universe that affect who we are and how we feel. And you guys reminded me of a couple of things along these lines. The Art of Relaxation is the title today, Paul.
Did you just start that noise in the background you always have? It's like, it sounds like a transformer, some kind of buzzing and ringing. It starts to take over my inner space. I know what you're up to, Talcott. Okay. The only thing I didn't just hear in the background and then feel. That's how you got me, was with those singing, those ringing bowls. What do they call them? Singing bowls that the white people. Yeah. It changes your inner molecular constructions.
Hey, no bullshit.
What is that?
Now we got echo.
It's got to be that idiot Michael Cino again. Go ahead.
No bullshit. That guy B that came up the other day, B the rapper, he shared a video right earlier today, and right before this, it was like a energy and Reiki healing thing, and it was like quiet meditative and sounds and frequencies. And Paul, I did that right before I came on here, and it's just what you're saying. You just kind of, you become one with the frequencies, the sound, the vibrations, and you feel the life that is within you. So there's something to becoming still, right? To allowing peace to be found, the void without the thoughts, the time in between the sound, and then yet it's not escapable, so you just allow it. Does that make sense? I kind of drifted off topic there.
Jack, could you be talking about chemical reactions that happen in your brain? Because that happens sometimes.
To be honest, I'm not being completely
realm of like,
with Paul. You've always been straight with me, Paul. I stopped going on your broadcast because there was something I was judging you about, and I needed to take some space to think about it. And in hindsight, as I gave it some space, I thought, you know, why do I feel like I need to have an opinion? Can I guess, sir?
Can I guess?
Yeah, sure. I bet you'll. I don't know. There's a number.
Because I felt it, and this is what I love. Thank you.
It's got to be the whole Annie incident.
No, please be quiet. You're always off on everything.
You know, can you stop being so disrespectful here?
Talking because he's way off as always. Horrible at reading the room and energies and people's frequencies. So, Dick, I noticed a change right around the time I started going heavy on the monogamy thing, right? And I see you shaking your head, so
that wasn't it. But yeah, I mean, that is definitely one of the things that we view differently. I mean, I think in some sense we view it in like mind, because I think that polygamy or a man-centered type of organic relationship makes the most sense. It embodies what you see expressed in nature. However, I think you see both expressions. So, I mean, I don't really have like a dog in the fight. Where I had an issue is I felt with the subject of the meat, you would constantly grandstand when I was on your broadcast, and you would present as if there was this karmic wrongdoing that people who would harvest a chicken or would, eat some kind of meat product, and that you never really would own the fact that you, in fact, would have worse karma by not actually owning your actions and taking accountability for the fact that when you're going through that drive-through or whatever kind of bullshit you're getting that's plant-based, there's all this harm being done, and it's being done at your hands, and it's actual real suffering. So coming from an empathic standpoint, I thought it's not very sensitive to not consider your own actions and how much damage you're doing, and that really maybe it's a projection at some level, but I looked at it as like walking hypocrisy or a contradiction, that you would kind of like call out people that they have some karmic thing coming to them, when in fact if it was going to play out that way, you would have the worst outcome in that situation because you would have the more cowardly type of, track record in that regard.
Yeah, but again, we haven't talked about that in a long time. So this is something that you're going over and over about. It's not something I go over and over about. The reality is I choose to live my life by what I perceive. If you perceive it a different way, I don't think you'd be this triggered. It doesn't matter what I do and don't do. If you believe in what you do, or you know that it's true and you know it's karmically correct, then continue it. With that said, this continues to be a mischaracterization that I don't own certain positions. When have I ever said?
I'm not triggered. I don't.
Sir, we tilled the ground yesterday, and he chopped off at least a couple lizards' tails. So, like, where have I not owned the position that this is about causing the least amount of harm possible?
What do you mean you chopped off a couple tails?
Vegetables, you chopped off 2 lizards' tails. Lou is sucking the blood of 12 chickens a day. So who exactly is creating more karmic consequences, killing cold-blooded animals or dismembering parts of their tails, versus mammalian creatures that a lot of them exemplify the traits that we exemplify, which would make you a predator amongst your own people in some senses. And I've seen the behavior with a lot of folks here. I've seen the behavior with a lot of folks here who eat the meat that when I really push them, they get really angry and loud and want to do violence.
Yeah, right? But whenever we eat conventional foods, either plant-based or meat-based, we're causing a heightened level of suffering that's like a level of
what does that mean? Plant-based. What does that mean?
I think he's talking about like veggie burgers or like Beyond Meat.
I don't eat any of that.
Conventional grains from the field.
I eat refried beans, dude. How are you comparing me eating refried beans to someone hanging an animal up and bleeding them out in front of everybody? How are you comparing the two?
On.
I can't believe you can't make that connection. I can't believe dude, you're a very highly intelligent person.
I can't believe you would divide. You would choose if I'm the one claiming you're the evil person. Why you would divide from me over something you know is true? Sounds like someone's
because you grandstand about it and you act like you're virtuous, and the reality is you're walking hypocrisy in that regard.
I don't.
And then you take it upon yourself with your guests to sit there and present it as if they're somehow in line for some karmic wrongdoing that come to them.
What's the
because they're doing it differently, but they're doing it in a more genuine way. And so I find it disingenuous because you're more intelligent than that, Paul.
For your lifestyle.
You're more intelligent than that.
Jack has something to say.
We haven't even talked about this.
Let's get back to Jack, guys.
Well, I know that's because I said I looked at it, and in hindsight, it was my problem, not yours. That's why I didn't address it with you. You know, the reality is.
1 second, Jack, please. Can we just get a resolution, Jack? Whoever's muting me in the back, all the power-hungry folks. Can we just get a resolution real quick? Dick and we were just having
that's what I was trying to present.
I don't need anyone. We were about to just move on. I was about to say thank you for bringing it up here today, Dick, because you did say you weren't going to bring it up and you were addressing maybe why there was something in the air. We don't have to agree, but I will hold to my contention that I live my life by doing as least amount of harm. Roll your fucking eyes all you want, you petulant child.
You're missing the point. That's
why are you rolling your eyes, Jack? You're an enlightened being. I'm
happy to answer. Right. I'm happy to answer. There's a reason. I'm glad you caught my communication. Paul, you're missing the point. A man who admires you is saying he's not willing to sacrifice and commit his time because you don't care about how you present your behavior. You're welcome to your beliefs. You're welcome to do everything you want. And move fucking Lou. Seriously.
I didn't say fuck off.
Planing wood back there.
You're making noise, dude. Right. Like Moose said the other day, dude, you've been online doing that to Paul for how friggin' long? You can't get this shit straight. Recognize you're going online, maybe mute up or get yourself settled in, Lou. All right, enough preaching. I'm sorry.
I get what you're saying, Jack, that I tend to take an authoritative tone, and that's just a tone of I know who and what I am at this time for me right now, and I'm going to speak that way. Okay? If you want to rebut the claims, feel free to. But the way that I put forth my understanding of who and what I am and what I'm not at this time should not sway anybody else's inner space. Should not be a qualification for anybody else's beingness, right? One way or the other. So I don't like if I say something in a general sense and you get triggered individually, then you got something to go look at. It's not has nothing to do with the way I put it forth.
Right. It's always everyone else's problem.
Yeah, your triggers are your responsibility. It's not the world's job to tiptoe around you and your triggers.
When are you going to accept the fact that people have the right to prefer your presence or not? You know, and you want to badmouth the people who say they've had enough.
How did I badmouth him or anyone else? How did I badmouth him or anyone else? I just said,
with all due respect, I 100% support Paul. Like, I mean, I really respect everything he brings to the table.
I love Dick. I love
broadcast
Dick
daily. I think it's the better content that I listen to a lot of times. So
I agree.
I just want to go on record and say I love Dick and I can't get enough Dick. Okay, and when
I
Dick
appreciate
is
you
not
guys.
over
We
there,
have a special guest here.
You know what?
Special guest here, the Gnostic
I'm
Chef.
getting real tired already over here quickly because of the new format, right? So I'm gonna have
thank
to
you, Pop.
or you're gonna have to throw me out. Is really what it is.
All right, Gnostic Chef. Thank you for coming. We're bringing you up.
Moose, can I just get a quick thing on what Dick was saying, and then I'll shut up?
Oh, Jesus. About diet?
No, not about diet. About how Paul...
Tell you what, please share.
How I was agreeing with you, by the way, Jack. I was agreeing with you.
The floor is yours,
I was. Okay. I was agreeing 100% with what you were saying, because you were saying it's not about so much about the meat or not the meat. It's about how he's acting about it, right? He's taking a righteous standpoint on a particular issue. This happens to be an issue on what causes the least amount of harm. Whether a man like myself who raises animals in the most healthiest, respectful, clean, loving way, and then has to do the dirty work himself, and same like Dick, I would imagine he's doing the same thing. Whether those type of people who are truly trying to minimize the damage, and then there's people like Paul and other people that don't eat meat that say they are righteous because they don't eat meat. But meanwhile, all of the things that they're eating kill 1,000 times more.
All right.
We've already been over this ad nauseum.
And more suffering.
We've already been over this
ad
nauseum.
You can stop now. Thank you.
Okay.
That message has been heard.
It's amazing how much time folks will spend looping ad nauseum on their dietary preferences and how others are.
I'm talking about how you don't expect when you're wrong, Paul.
Amazing how we could all like sit there and get triggered over who we think's righteous over their dietary choices. Let's go to the list of places where I'm perceived as self-righteous because I'm doing what others won't do.
You're righteous on this issue.
Please
That's
stop?
the problem.
Hold on. Let's take a moment.
I'm pursuing a righteous lifestyle. I'm pursuing a righteous lifestyle. I didn't say I'm the utmost righteous being out here and that I have a right to judge.
Let's come into the moment, please. All right. With just some peace and silence, right? We're going to come back together because the topic of today is relaxation. Let's learn to relax together, right? As we discuss whatever it is we discuss. We don't need to get so uptight and we don't need to loop in the past stuff. That's the habits we can break.
Yeah, I prefer to not be characterized as uptight if possible. This is just my presentment. So if you folks could forgive me of the uptight presentment, I think we could move forward. This is my courteous demeanor, right?
Hey, Paul, uptight may be, that one might be a stretch. I don't really see you as the uptight type. But, rough around the edges, a little abrasive at times. Yeah, those things fit. But, You know what, Paul? We see your heart. I don't know anybody who. Well, there's others who have denied what they see. Hey, Paul.
Hey, Jack.
I could use some help.
I can see that, Jack. There's many fronts too. Where do you want to start?
I want to start with what we can do. What can we do, man? Hey.
Well, you could take back control over your broadcast and stop letting the addled miscreants play and press buttons and think they're doing something. It's a little much.
You know, it's the interruptions can be beneficial because it interrupts the disagreements. Gives us a chance to reset for a moment, change the energies, change the direction.
And do the entertaining that everyone was down on me for so long for that now they're doing, right? I got it.
Oh, that's what I'm saying, man. I could use your help. Help bring the entertainment flair with the purpose that we both share. But you got to trust that I'm actually a man who could be listened to. So.
Yeah, I don't have to trust that per se, Jack. I guess the people have to trust that along with myself. We just have to create good content, like the Provo kid says.
Yeah, but the thing is what do you have against me? Like, I'm sitting here trying to help Jack grow, and you're sitting here talking down to me.
I know Jack maybe doesn't see through you, but I see through you completely. So when he's ready to conference with me and see all the things I see that you won't admit to, we can do that. But until then, I'll just reserve my commentary. If you think that I'm such a fool that I can't see through your persona and personality and ego games, it's laughable.
Well,
I can see through your tone, let alone the actions.
Paul,
I've actually seen an improvement in Moose while he's been here, and he's actually taken initiative to actually do some
I didn't
production
ask
things,
else.
Even if you disagree with it. But
he asked me. He asked.
So obviously,
so he asked me what I think of him, and you cut in to tell everyone what you think of Moose. That's good. That's not.
Well, this is just my observation of Moose.
It's
because you're known for your observational brilliance, right, man?
Well, the time he's been here, he's been productive.
Yes,
not all the time. Sorry, not all the time, but he's improving. Right.
Within the last like 4 or 5 days, right?
So like a child, like tantrums, shits all over the carpet, does it for 6 months. Then, he starts to piss on the carpet and you go, he's improving. Okay, I see what we're doing.
Hey,
not
Paul,
even.
It's more than that, actually. And what John was trying to show you is some of the facts. That there's facts that show evidence that Moose isn't just up here trolling. He's finding his place. He's finding his growth. But, I shared me.
He's trolling a little bit, but you're not an idiot either, Jack. You know what's going on.
You.
So,
yeah.
I mean, people act like you're completely oblivious to anything.
Right. No, I'm seeing
so people is me. So I'll speak for me, right? I don't act like Jack is oblivious to everything. I'm saying Jack is clearly not seeing what Moose does, which is play up to everyone's ego to get next to them, to find himself in his position, and will use you if necessary and abuse you when necessary.
Well,
so
let's just call it as it
I'm
goes.
just assisting him. I'm just helping him out on something I like to do.
It's consensual interactions. Jack actually he put out to the universe that he wanted help, and then in the universe for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction.
It's like a movie. Moose answered the call, right?
Hey, dude.
How about this question, Bruce? Would you hire Jack to run your hotel or whatever? Would you make him GM of your property?
Absolutely not. And if he says he would, he's bullshitting again.
I wouldn't apply. That's not my experience.
He's not going to answer because
that wasn't the question, Jack. I'm not disrespecting you.
He's not going to answer.
Dude, hold on. Hold on. If you shut up, you big gorilla. Jesus. God,
This
you
is really a
detracted
there's
the
a last
whole
track.
fucking
Yeah.
thing.
Moose isn't
We're
hiring
still
Jack
waiting for
to
the
do a job
answer.
for
I
him.
know
I mean,
golly geez and all the rest, but we're waiting for the answer.
There's no reason to be hostile. Holy
Why-
cows, man.
I just
Why
give
would
you,
I hire
guess, too
him to
much
run my
credit then, Jack,
hotel
because
when
I
I'm
don't
already
think you're
running
like a
it?
damsel in distress
It's not
victim
an
that
answer,
doesn't
not
know
an
what's
answer.
Yeah,
going
that's
on.
not an answer. That's not an answer.
It is an
Moose.
answer.
Moose is running
It
for
is-
governor soon too. Vote for him.
I'm already running my
Hey,
hotel.
Joe,
Why
so
would I
full of
hire
shit,
someone
Moose,
to
on
do
every
it?
level. You're the
That's
most
not the
inauthentic
point of the
character.
question, Moose. We know you don't need someone to do it. That
Guys.
wasn't the point of the question, Moose. Come on, man.
You know, you guys are just hating
He's
because
trying
we've
to say
actually
that
found a
Jack
little bit of
Talcott
growth
is
in the past
incompetent.
couple
That's the
days.
inference.
Hey,
No, you
guys.
should act the way that you act when you realize what you were in the moment when you were sorry for all you've done. Not act how you did in the beginning when you met me and tried to use me and then abuse me. You're doing it all
Paul.
over again with him.
I didn't
Paul,
try to use you at all.
I'm about
That's
to take
ridiculous.
complete control over this and start throwing people out myself. So, Paul, please allow some respect for where we're at. I realize you're doing your show as well, but Joe Cool, welcome, brother. And
welcome, guys. How you doing?
Yo, Joe.
Good to see you.
it looks like we've still got more people trying to come up, but here's the thing. Regardless of the past, okay, many things have been said that are true. I'm not a fool. I do see when people are using me as a joke, and I also see when I can use that for my advantage.
Dope, Jack. Yeah.
I mean, shit, my name
That's been
got
your
made
recipe
at
the whole time, really, right? I mean, you've always been trying to transmutate it and do something positive with it.
Right on.
brother.
All right,
it's
but
my
when did this
fault.
become Jack Talcott, who said no entertainment about pure consciousness and awareness, now having Moose as a producer who's doing a bit, not doing a bit, playing up to your ego, non-ego of you being a guru, false guru?
You
When
can
did this
paint it
become?
however you want. You can paint
Right,
it
but
however
that's what
you
he's
want, or
doing.
you
If
can
that's
look
what he's
for the
doing,
facts.
that's what he's
Well,
been doing.
here's a different approach. It was clear to me that many people have been offering you, and you know what? Moose can verify. I kind of shared this with him earlier. It was a thought I was looking in the mirror today, talking to myself, evaluating what is real, what's going on, where am I at? Well, fact is, we are growing. I am growing. This is growing right here on social media. And so I thought about it, Paul. Yep, I've got Moose on my side. He's part of my team. He's actually making this much more efficient, more effective, and much simpler for me.
Okay, so you didn't listen to me for months when I said we can't have sides because when we have sides, folks will choose other sides when it's not advantageous for them. You have to be united in purpose and meaning and faith if you want to do business.
You interrupted
Oh,
me.
weren't you
and
the
here's
one that said that you're going to divide people with your words and call them the infidel who don't believe in
Doesn't your
truth and
Muslim
freedom?
scripture talk about the same thing, Mr. Muslim, lately?
Actually,
Yeah,
Doesn't it talk about
well,
the infidel?
absolutely,
Hey,
and
Paul,
and
John.
So
that's
give
true.
us a passage on the infidel, Mr. Muslim.
I just think
Or
you're
I'll
missing the
pull up
point. What I'm
the
trying to
Hold
say, I'm
on.
trying to point out.
I'm muting you, John. Paul, you interrupted me, and I was getting to the point of what I was saying. Regardless of your facts, I've been sharing my intentions of building community, not division. And so what I recognized is here now with Paul or with Moose joining me, and I saw last night, you got that guy Scott, something like that, Hollywood dude. And he's just throwing ideas and support and opportunities at you. And I'm thinking, you know what? That fucker's got everything. He is where I'd like to be, but you know what? Where I'm at,
This is the point.
you're interrupting. Where I'm at, you're not grateful. You don't see what's around you. So you know
I'm
what,
so
brother?
grateful
Here
for
I
this.
am.
I'm so grateful
Here
for the
I
truth
am.
and the walk that I don't take everybody's handouts who come along who want to use me and be used.
You deny. Here's the point, Paul. I'm not in this for myself. I'm in it because I care about what comes out of here.
When someone comes at me with what they've done in the industry rather than who they are, I'm weary right off the bat.
Right. You find
I'm
excuses.
weary and
because
wary.
Weary of everyone.
I'm
weary of
weary
everyone
and
who
weary.
doesn't
I
agree
start
with you.
going like this. I start getting like hazy.
Right.
I start feeling like I'm being punched in the face again because
Play
I
the
didn't come
victim.
here for affinity groups and
Some peace and silence.
Hey, sorry.
keep fucking
And you've
I
never
silence.
seen anyone that
this
hovers
guy,
around a
Jack, you're
talented
right. This
person.
guy's
Telling
uptight.
my story while you
He's
tell
not-
my story.
Hey,
He's
Paul,
ruining
we're
the
gonna
vibe
take
here.
a break if you can't
I'm
chill
ruining
yourself.
the vibe.
You are.
It's a relaxation
Right.
stream, Paul. Read the room.
So Vance does a duping delight because he's playing.
That was my choice. So, Paul, Joe Cool, welcome, brother.
Good day, gents. This is great. I love your John. Fucking, this is gonna be great, bro.
So,
Go ahead.
Excuse me, Jack. I just have to take a couple deep breaths and get back in the zone.
Can I ask Joe a question?
Of course you can.
Please.
All right, so Joe, what's wrong with me making thumbnails, posting on different social media sites, making descriptions and tags for Jack's, page, getting topics and stuff ready for him? Like, why does everybody have such a fucking problem with it?
I was
Like,
gonna say,
what is so wrong with it?
we're assuming that is the issue that they have, right? I got to take your word for that. We're assuming that that's the issue. It is they don't have a different beef or a beef of that other stuff with that. I mean, taking what you just said, I could analyze that.
Like, check it. Like, yeah, we've had a rocky past. I've trolled the shit out of him, you know. But he gave me an ounce of trust and he gave me some respect for once. And then I finally came around. I said, look, I can help you and you can help me be a better producer. And actually, if I take you somewhere and we get somewhere big, then maybe I can go produce for other people. So other people are sitting here, trolling me. Austin's out here trolling me.
They're doubting your sincerity. And if we're being honest, Jack is saying you have moments of insincerity, but he's willing to put up with them in the interest of progress for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think I've shown that I've been pretty on par, since we started this.
All seen you was like just ridiculously trolling him before. Now it's lightweight and you're more helpful than you are, trolling shit. Yes, we see it.
Amen. Moose is a
good producer, man. He brings a lot to the table. I've always felt that.
It's what I've been hoping for. I don't know how to use these systems. I don't know how to make the most out. I don't know how to even pay attention to the algorithms or how to do the thumbnails. There's a lot I don't know, and I'm humble. I don't mind asking for help. And when it was like everything kind of came together, I started learning that Moose had knowledge in computer skills. And so there was these reasons, there was things within him that I had no idea he possessed. These skills and talents, background, education. I didn't know what it was.
He probably didn't know all his skills. There's an African proverb that says, if you kick a kid out of the village, he will burn it down to feel the warmth of its heat. Right? When he was outside the village, he was a tyrant. Now that he's in the village, he's content.
Well,
there's a philosophy to the
That's
brotherhood
true.
shit. Yeah.
It's absolute truth. And Moose said it, I'm glad he did, but I shared respect, offer respect, you'll get respect. And I think Moose and I were
trust too, right? You offer a big thing of trust. That's a big deal. Don't curl up and stuff. If he slips back a little bit, don't, he made a ton of progress. You hang in there. You got to yell at him and kick him around, but remember the progress you made and it was worth it,
Amen. I don't know. Where do we go from here? I've got Brother Yurt, Unslavious, and
you could have Yurt up. I could be wrong,
Lou
but
in the back.
Yurt I don't think starts no shit. Yurt always contributes, right? Yurt don't start shit, I don't think.
Well, you know what? I'm welcome to bring.
I say bring Paul back. He wouldn't kick you off of his panel, right?
You're right.
Right, but I start shit, right? So folks like to talk in third-party subliminals because I'm a shit starter, right? Because
I could speak.
Right, kind of like how you just gave a proverb, it gave nobody any clarity, and then you just all moved on like it meant something, right?
That's what I meant by the shit starting shit. You immediately start dominating conversation, talking over motherfuckers, and that's what I meant. I think I was accurate in what I said.
Right, because again, you all want to make
I'm not just one guy.
Obtuse statements, never search for clarity.
We all
when I bring
understood
clarity,
it.
it brings confusion and fear, and then there's insecurity.
Yeah,
and
was
division.
anyone confused about the proverbs that I have restated in some way?
Well, it doesn't seem anyone else was, but I'd like to bring some clarity to the conversation if possible.
Are we having a discussion or an argument? I
don't know. Argument means in Latin to make the facts clear and presently known. So maybe I only live to argue.
Well, we don't have to argue without a purpose. We can find reason.
There is a purpose to get to objective truth, not what feels good.
Which truth are we seeking? That's always the question.
That appears clear to all of us when clarity is offered.
Here's the question. Let's get some clarity now. In line with the topic of this purpose, right here and now. Bring some clarity to the art of relaxation, the benefits you can imagine or have experienced.
I'll kick in at the ball.
Right. So we're going to refocus off of what we were just speaking about onto something that you think is a gotcha area for me. So what would you like?
Not a gotcha.
Right. So I'm very unrelaxed. I know that. I get it. I get the whole narrative that's painted. So you would like me to illuminate what I consider to be, for me, certain activities of relaxation, benefits?
Please.
What are we focusing on specifically?
Maybe it's a thought you haven't considered for yourself. And I don't mean to put you on the spot by any means.
I'm not on the spot. Do I ever seem like I'm on the spot, Jack Talcott? Let's just get right down to it. Do you want some activities?
Well, what do you find beneficial for relaxing well,
it depends on
do you find?
Yeah, it depends on kind of where I'm going with that flow. So it might be weird for you to picture me doing something like yoga, having different poses and postures and stretches and doing different kind of breathing techniques, or maybe going out and blowing shit up and shooting shit. I know there's like a dichotomy there, but there's there are different forms of sort of focus that lead to a relaxed and peaceful state. I mean, one follows the other, right? Usually some form of exertion follows relaxation bodily. So are we talking physically? Are we talking metaphysically? Are we talking both at the same time, both at different times?
Can I answer the question? Yeah, can I answer the question? I could think of some benefits to relaxation. I'd like to, I think that if one learns to relax.
How about hard work, Joe? Does anyone ever think
about let Joe answer the question that we were dealing with?
Okay, sure, Talcott.
In his way.
Hard work is going to be my answer.
I think that there may be a way to, if you can relax yourself enough to leave this body and do that astral planet shit.
Right, so that's not a form of relaxation. That's leaving your body and attaining a different state of consciousness, because you have to come back to your body and live in it.
He was just talking about a benefit. That's a benefit of relaxing. That's all he asked. Right. I didn't say it was perfect.
He didn't get a benefit from that experience, just like plants and herbs. There's many experiences that will lead to a more relaxed, centered, and balanced state.
Who cares, man? The point is, there's ways to relax, and there's benefits to the practice of learning to relax.
So that breathing shit helps you too. I'm not sure, but people who say they've been doing that can achieve incredible things. I don't know. Maybe y'all know more than I do.
That's something Dick and I were talking about earlier. Was about Wim Hof and the benefits of the cold, the breathing. Paul,
more oxygen into the brain.
I mean,
yeah.
Are there any benefits to not always being in a relaxed state where you're
have you Paul, have you ever been in a yoga swing, Paul?
No, they typically don't hold up to 300 pounds.
They do though. You just got to get a higher quality one.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but then I got to reinforce it, and it's like a lot of drilling and pilot holes, and it's a whole deal, man.
That'd be beautiful. You could do live streams from the
laughter
yoga
can be
swing out in nature.
Laughter.
I mean, it's seriously, it is a fucking epic experience to do an inversion experience out in nature. We were talking about that earlier. I used to do it with an inversion machine, But I got no shame. I'll do it in a yoga swing, and swing back and forth, like I'm a
Okay,
ballerina.
how about
and
this, Dick? How about a nice hot bath with some fluoridated water, huh?
Yes.
And like
little
hundreds of
chloramine,
thousands
little
of-
lithium enhance.
Yes.
Right, and maybe you throw some essential oils.
Does
in
all
there.
draw?
They got snake poison in that water, you know. It's a crazy shit going on there.
I
I
think the
could take a-
wizard's bringing up something indirectly. Cannabis is one of the ways he chooses to relax.
Yes, as long as it's not sativa, that shit'll drive you crazy and have you cleaning up the house and thinking about every sin you've ever done.
Yeah.
The most relaxed I ever get is after a day worth of work.
Yes.
You brought up the one word that we don't want to talk about here, so I would suggest you just move right along.
After anything,
So while
after
I'm,
a performance, or
That guy sounds
something,
like
you
a
feel
family
that
man.
release.
So while I'm
Possibly.
basking in a cedar
Like I said-
hot tub with fresh well water,
Oh boy.
you're marinating in your sweat after a long hard day.
I'd say Jack's been working pretty hard this week. If you ask me, he's been really diving in on his show. He's been
putting work.
Hey,
out
good
on the
evening, Jack.
town.
Right, Moose, but we know what your standard of working hard is because you say you work hard too. So, you know,
Hey, Paul, listen to
ultimately,
that
Yeah.
word.
Okay, thank you, Paul.
Listen
I
to the
appreciate
word.
it.
Standard is an imagined expectation, right? And yes, everyone has their own standards, their own challenges, their
right,
own
like things actually
definitions
getting
of
done,
words,
for instance. That's a good
their
standard.
own definitions of words. What does work mean? What is hard? What is hard?
Besides
Is life
what
hard or
Lifting,
not?
lifting boulders, that is very difficult.
To dedicating yourself to
One
one thing to
example?
completion, that seems to be difficult for most slaves. You know, let me give you an example. Like
Who
Moose,
says?
after everything we
Who
went
says
through, not
that's
taking
hard?
the opportunity to do everything he's doing here that he should have done with me a second time with me.
But you
He
denied
instead
it.
moved
You were
on
rude
and
on
You didn't
decided
give me the
grateful.
chance
You
to do it,
someone else.
so I
You
So I
don't
couldn't
didn't
do
give
it.
him
accept
the
what
chance
people
to do
offer
it. See,
you.
there you go, because he doesn't understand hard work and ethic and trust and loyalty.
You
and bond and how
don't
it's all built.
understand many
He
of
Y'all
doesn't
those
need to
understand
fucking get it
dedication,
over with.
doesn't
Paul.
understand will, doesn't understand
Tell you what,
honorable
I'm going to
commitment, doesn't
interrupt you
understand
if you
private
don't interrupt
communication.
yourself, Paul. Okay? This is not the place for you to dominate and establish your superiority and show how you're fucking better than everybody else. No, Paul, what I see is you're learning personally day to day. It sounds like you're finally maybe learning benefits of hard work. Maybe you're seeing the contributions that others, the work that others are doing around you. I mean, that's what I heard you saying earlier about get off your ass and go do some work. So you know, you're part of the participating in what
Right,
is being around. So,
right.
so I'm glad to hear
Go
you're
start
being
your own YouTube
exposed
channel.
to those things now, but your assumptions, you and Nubs and Yurt
What the
and
fuck did
several
I
others
do?
Whoa,
that I
you're
don't
throwing the
know
Yurt
the
Oh boy.
element
definition
of all
We want to get into
people.
that.
Now,
that
it's
you
one
guys
thing.
claim I don't know the definition of hard work or that I don't know what I'm fucking saying is true.
Well, you told me before also that you were like an exemplary leader, and I don't see any leadership qualities in you at all.
That,
So,
see, that is
I do.
your ignorance.
Yeah, can I give a few? And I don't want
Could
to
I
get
could
beat
I
up.
could I offer a
Yeah, go ahead,
diagnosis
Yeah, go ahead.
of Talcott deranged syndrome?
Okay.
right. Kind of like Trump, right? So everybody who wanted to like be a complete leftist death worshiper, right, would say that anybody who how did the Trump derangement syndrome go? How did that go again? Was that from one side or the other? I can't keep up on. I know that's where Vance is
It
getting
was
it. 'Cause he gets all his
it was
references
basically people
from pop
who
culture.
wouldn't listen to any arguments, and they were
Dope.
resentful of Trump, what he stood for.
Dope.
And I'm
Right.
seeing similarities from, I hate to say it, from your camp, because
So
obviously
you
there is
hate to say it,
there is
right?
some
Hold
That's the
on.
resentment
thing.
there
Hold on.
that Moose is succeeding now with Jack Talcott, and you wish
Right.
Moose would have done more for you. But now Jack
Right. So I
Talcott has
still,
seemed
once
to have
again, I
pushed the
don't
right
wish that
buttons
he
and motivated people in a different way.
Dope.
And now you're kind of, I don't know, you have some sort of resentment there,
It's
and it's
John.
coming through, and obviously That's what I mean when you say you're ruining the vibe, because obviously you're looking for inadequacies in people all the time,
And let's
where
say
you
Jack
can't
with
see
the working
you
shit.
can't see the benefits or the progress of people
Jack,
in their
stop that.
journey.
And Jack with the working shit. He went
I
from
can't even
being
respond to
beat
that.
up.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 second. This will be quick. He went up getting
Right,
beat
two
up at
responses.
Paul's channel, and he started his own channel, and he's building a base. He's getting people watching him. That is work.
Right. Okay.
Thank
So, can we go back to whatever it was John Vance was saying when he said he'd hate to say this? I
Yeah,
mean,
you're
could you come
jealous of
off
most.
any
Yeah.
more disingenuous, Vance? All you've done for months since you've met me is try to detract from me and
Are you
everything I
back
do.
to
over
Yeah,
comparing?
yeah. You were gonna
You're
attack what he
deflecting
said.
from the
Why
word
is it
beating
that
up
Joe
compare.
Cool has to pipe up and constantly be everyone's defense attorney?
Because you
ever
guys
have
will
back
just
and forth?
start yelling over each other. I'm trying to prevent
Right.
that.
So the way to combat that is you yell over us. Right. That makes sense.
I'm not yelling.
He and I spoke
Talk
up
over.
at the same time, Paul.
So Vance says something about me. I can't respond. He says something.
Well,
We go
Paul,
back. I
here,
respond. He talks
Paul,
over me while
hold
you
on.
talk. That's a
No,
good format. I like that.
that's a false narrative. Now, you're right. He presented some words and then Joe interrupted before you got to go back. Now, he presented some facts. Now, rather than rebut and go into this comparison of, isn't it true you did this and you did that? There were facts. We can discuss the facts.
Right. So
Now,
let's
it was
start with the
presented
fact
that you are presenting patterns as though you are
okay, so you're
maybe
agreeing with
showing
him.
some
Can I
resentment.
respond yet, or are we still going to agree
Please,
with him?
please.
So he said that I was resentful over what he didn't do for me.
Yeah.
No, he came into the interaction looking for what he could get for him. I'm, if you want to characterize it resentful, I'm disappointed that he didn't do more for us. The same energy I have with everyone I deal with that you all keep characterizing as me wanting to run a cult and you all work for me. I'm disappointed we're not doing more together for and with us. Okay.
Me too.
So let's get it right before you keep painting me out to be the Antichrist and the bad guy and the cult leader and the enemy. Every time.
I can say that as a firsthand testimony, Paul. I mean, as I distance myself from a physical presence on your broadcast, I mean, that there was no basically, if I didn't engage, you didn't engage. I mean, I didn't see any anything from you negative. Not one. You're always amicable in the chats with me, and so it's not a cult. I think I proved that firsthand. It's not a cult. You know,
here's
just
the
with
thing
my own
no one
experience.
ever tells, and I think it's amazing. Every one of you people has private communications with me at this point where I have pretty much dropped all presentments. And why are you shaking your head down there, 6079? Because I didn't email you yet and love you.
Just saying, I don't know. I've had private communications with you. I was trying to answer your question. I said, I don't know that I've had private communications with you. I got nothing against you.
Outlier who constantly tries to inject yourself in. These folks I'm with pretty much every day for months.
Yeah, but you gave Brian O'Shea the number.
Jack Talcott.
I don't got the number, Paul.
I'm talking about Dick. I'm talking about Brother
Derek.
I'm talking about Moose. I've reached out to every
one of them.
What
if I want to call you late night when I need your love or something, Paul?
But yeah, that's the thing, right? It's never enough. So when I reach out to hundreds of people and say, hey, bro, I really love you and I like what you bring and I can't wait to see your face again. I just can't love you motherfuckers enough for this presentment to be off-putting. I just can't do it.
Paul, there's no attack. There's no defense.
I don't get it. I've been nothing but grateful
I don't get it.
for
I've
the
been
growth.
Nothing but a snaky, slimy,
disingenuous piece
of garbage.
You just look for nothing but the bad in people.
Right.
Jack, can I share something related to your show and it's not numbers or
Nobody
anything
said
like
you
that?
were bad.
Yeah,
I just wanted to share two quick things about your show. I just wanted to share. I think it would be awesome in the future. I love your open panel. It's your channel. But if you kept it, to 4-ish people on screen, maybe change it every so. I'm not that anything's wrong with what you're doing. And I just met Moose. I just met you. Moose seems like he's a good dude. Your show seems like it's a little more professional. I just don't understand the backlash. I haven't been with your channel for 2 years like some of the other people. And to give you advice, I'm not a great content provider or anything, but try to look to those people like whoever that was yesterday who said she's been with you a long time. Maybe send her a message at some point. That's not my business. I'm just saying, she seems like a loyal supporter. And
all sounds like good.
That's all I got. I don't need to.
What would you like Moose to do at this point, Paul? I mean, what is the main takeaway that he needs to confront?
Dick, in any interaction, I can never come forward and say what I would like anyone to do, because then I will be a cult leader. The point is that we had a great interaction. We both pretty much cried tears because we're all involved in slavery and we're all like fallen beings at times, it seems. So when we like go through that and then I have him back and it's like just the way it was in a sense, even though I'm still going to razz him and give him shit at times, it's like that's how kind of brotherhood and honor is recultivated. You completely backbit on me. You did everything in your power to destroy me. You apologized and cried tears with me. I essentially hugged you metaversally because now we're all like best friends on the metaverse on some level, right? And then I said, now we move forward, right?
What if he's
get
just
more than 20 fucking seconds out of spilling my
you
heart
kidding
before
me?
you cut me off with your fucking narrative. Go ahead and drive the train.
Well, what if he's just trying to prove himself to get back to be a producer on your broadcast? He actually wants to. I mean,
but that would be wrong for him to be trying to do, Dick. That's the thing that got him in trouble in the first place.
Hey guys,
That's the whole point.
how about this?
Yeah, but if
How
he had,
about-
if he's
Hey,
under
Dick,
the constant
Hold on,
scrutiny-
Dick, when he's
Dick,
talking.
I just want to
please.
address what they said, but yeah.
How about this? Paul, have you ever offered apologies for the disrespect you've offered?
Oh, this
I don't think you have. I know I haven't fucking
You're
received
speaking
any.
for Moose now because you're so damn emotionally invested.
Hey,
I haven't loved
it's
you
an
right.
example
You can't
just
get on
like
anyone else
me.
but you. You can't
It's an-
talk about anyone else without bringing
Paul-
it back to you and I. That's why you're not in a.
Knew that was coming.
The facts are the facts, Paul.
And I'm not saying that is the right motivation. I'm just saying I was speaking out loud something that I was observing. Am I right at all there? Am I way off track, Moose? Are you in some sense doing this on some level to prove yourself to Paul?
I already said today on air, on record, that I'm interested in being a producer. And am I trying to do it for Paul? No, I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing this to earn, like I'm trying to get some experience under my belt, like when you walk into a business, you don't walk in there and go, oh, I've never done that before. You say, no, I've been a producer for 2 years. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. This is what I can offer you. This is where I'm good at. This is where I fall short. This is a chance. Jack's giving me a chance. He's trusting me to help, try to bring his channel forward. If it doesn't work and he cuts me from the team, that's fine too.
You've still learned a lot,
But,
even if it goes south.
yeah,
You've learned a
it's
lot.
it's learning. Yeah.
And here's another part.
Can I say something real quick here, as it relates to Moose, and the comment that Paul made earlier about you disrespecting him when you brought up a special guest. Now, granted, I comprehend the wanting to show respect to the special guest, but at the same time, you don't disrespect somebody else in order to give respect.
Wizard, you do that to me all the time, and I'm doing it to you right now.
I'm just trying to point out that we need to clarify, and I'm just pointing it out.
I copy that, sir.
Suck Jack's tongue.
I'm not trying to. I'm trying to help everybody understand what I see and bring peace to all of it, because we're all wrong.
Yeah.
Well, here, can I let me say what I've been trying to say before you interrupted me, Wizard, to get your damn point across. Moose has not even realized this himself. Okay? My words are serious. My goal is for world peace and global reform. I believe YouTube is one method to grow that message. The reason I'm on here trying to encourage people with the Live Without Fear, for the improvement, for the discussions on spirituality, on consciousness, on reform, it is intended to try and make a difference in this world. I don't give a shit about the subscribers. I don't give a excuse me. I don't care about the numbers. I'm not in this for the money. I'm not in this for the fame. I never wanted to be one who was in front, and I never wanted to be a leader, but damn it. God has been preparing me and us for something bigger than this nonsense of bullshit back and forth, gossiping like teenage girls.
I love this nonsense.
Paul, I'm going to bring you back, brother. I hope you're still there. I hope you listen.
You presume I'm not listening because I'm so response able. It's just like whatever you say, I'm right there with an answer. And it's always an answer that befuddles the average slave, it would seem.
And yet,
yeah, but how can Moose vindicate himself so he's not under your constant scrutiny anymore? Because he was trying to clear the slate in a previous broadcast I was in with you, and he wants to be able to move forward. So what does he need to do to be in your good graces? And you can say, if you characterize it, you're putting yourself in a box or in a cult, but then that's not reasonable. I mean, unless you're doing it in private terms with him and saying, Moose, I need you to correct in these particular regards for our relationship to be copacetic. You're not giving him any direction.
We already moved forward. The point is, why didn't he take it upon himself to correct for himself all of the damage that he caused, that he said he wanted to work off, half in jest, of course, and apply himself the way he never did, the way he is now with Jack, to me, the person he made all of the promises to initially. If he does not correct that for himself, he establishes a pattern for himself of probably doing it again with Jack and himself.
What about you?
Great. Wait,
pattern,
Jack.
Paul?
This is great. Dick hit it on
What
the
about
head.
my pattern?
He
Let's
said
just flip
he
it all
thinks-
around on me all the time. Forget about accountability for everyone else. Just keep flipping it on me.
Paul, you created the pattern with Moose, then you created the pattern with me.
Why don't you listen?
And for once again, Dick and Paul, you guys both have walked around these.
What?
You guys have both made the claim you understand what I'm saying, yet so often I speak and you don't even address any of the words I've said, and it just happened just now. I had explained the purpose of what this time is for, what this purpose is for, and it was completely ignored and dismissed by both of you, only to go back into Paul's bullshit tantrums.
Hey, you know what that confirms? You're a horrible leader because you've said for months and years no one ever listens to you, but you have great leadership qualities.
What are the facts? It doesn't matter what you think. My words are true. And if you can't listen to the truth, you are a fool. I've been surrounded by fools.
If you can't make the words of truth compelling to the average man or woman, which you obviously can't, then it doesn't matter how foolish they are. You're still not a good leader.
Nah, you're a fool. I know that God makes. I don't make anybody. I present
Does
the
God
truth.
keep putting me in the back and muting me and mischaracterizing?
Yeah, because God is the truth. The truth is the fact. And the facts are you are a repeated interruption who has not learned self-control.
You just asked Dick not to go into his back and forth with Paul
And you get
shit, and then you do the exact thing.
Hey, Jack.
Excited every day.
Guys.
Who's hosting
You're excited every day he shows up.
There's a difference between me engaging with Paul and Dick, who has nothing to do with the growth of Live
and
Without
it's your broadcast.
Fear.
It is also your broadcast too, Jack.
Can I
let's refocus, guys. Come on.
Yeah. Let me say one last thing about Dick and Paul. I think that was Dick who earlier said that he senses you're mad that Moose didn't do this for you. And then Paul ended his last statement with, how come Moose didn't do all those things, repair his so-and-so by doing those things over at mine? I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, and I get that. I'm in the process of learning, and I'm working here. You know, I'm going through the steps. Every single day, I'm learning something new. And you're like, it's not fast enough. It's not fascinating.
Right on.
Let me give you what it is, sir, you're not that stupid. I know you want to now see. This is why I say you're a great manipulator.
See,
Even better than Jack.
every single time, anything I say, you can turn it around.
You're not stupid. It would happen faster if you really, again, applied and dedicated yourself to really wanting to know and learn, which you haven't. So that's why it's so slow. We don't know why it's so slow. No, I know why it's so slow, because you're disingenuous. Now, can we just get back to the point we were speaking of, presuming Jack wants to even continue on this vein of me and you, because it seems he doesn't. He may want to move on to other things.
If there's resolve, I welcome the resolve.
Right. So let me give the analogy, right? And I'll give all the trolls and viewers out there what they need. Moose and I were like gay lovers. Right? We're like, we're together. He makes his vows to me. He dedicates his life to me. He says he's going to do all these things. And then he goes off and cheats and lies on me. And then he comes back. We all find out. I'm the last one to know. I say, Moose, this really kind of hurts my heart. Can we get resolved? He says, yes, Pop, Daddy. I cheated on you. I went around back. I went all over town shitting on your name, acting like you weren't the man. And now I realized I was wrong, and I love you again. I go, okay, I still love you. Let's move forward, right? Then he goes, I'm going to try to repair the damage in our relationship. And immediately goes out and does it again in a different way. Goes out and finds Talcott, says, you're daddy now, Talcott, and I'm going to get right next to you and work for you and work with you and do all the things I didn't do for Paulie and with Paulie that I said I would before and after he did the wrong thing.
So he's cheating.
He is the one with the bad faith, false claims, inability to stick to his word and his plans and dedicate himself to anything completely. His marriage, his family, his business, his panel mates, an idea of freedom, rights, and principles. This is nothing new. This is the par for the course human condition. Inferior, inauthentic, slow progression in life.
You won't see anything different.
So
right.
slow, you wouldn't know what's
you
happening.
won't see anything different than what you choose.
He can't dedicate himself to his family, his marriage, or his business, though. I mean, that's some fucking wildly denigrating type of allegation.
Every time I bring up monogamy and family, the monogamy family guys got to pipe up in defense. Even though
you
right. Oh, now you care about the covenant. Oh, okay.
Dude. Damn. I'm finally doing something.
This guy that talks about polygamy now he has his hurt feelings.
I don't think Moose can ever win because as long as he's over here, he's cheating. Right? As long as he's over here, he's cheating. So
this is court now. This is how we manage our affairs in language.
Yep, it is. This is how we manage it. We communicate like adults and we present the facts. We don't throw back and forth and speak over each other and throw accusations at each other.
Do you think you'd actually talk like that in court, though? Let's just be real.
I think he'd try until they put him behind bars, and then he bragged about getting put in bars for his rights, freedom, and truth. Paul's right, Paul's truth, Paul's freedom.
My goods.
Hey, I have a question that may have already been covered. And I don't have a dog in this fight, so it doesn't matter to me either way, but it seems suspicious that anybody would build up a resume to be a YouTube producer. Obviously, there ain't no producers around these YouTube streets. So,
all right, let me address that.
On.
Let me address that.
Please do.
Okay, so I do think part of it is a joke, but it's another part isn't a joke because listen to what I'm saying. Because the producer title is kind of a joke, but you guys don't see the experience I'm getting every single day. I'm getting experience communicating with people. I'm getting experience like handling the panel, making thumbnails, making descriptions, getting the plan for Jack. So that way he can be like, here, this is the direction we're going. That's the direction we're going, whatever. There's a lot of stuff that has to go into it. And whether or not you find that fun, if you don't find that fun, that's fine. I find it as a hobby. It's what I'm doing in my free time.
Acceptable answer. I'm totally satisfied with that answer. And there's a lot more shit that goes into running a channel than people realize.
Wait, there's a lot of two-mans on here. A second man that does what most do. I know people who that is what they do. I don't know if they go by the name producer, but they run the channel and they play the second guy and put up all the shit. Can you bring that up? That's what they do. A lot of people. I have a lot of people that's.
Well, maybe I'm just hanging out with the wrong fucking channels, Dick.
You're hanging out with Luddites. That's who you're hanging out with.
A Luddite? I don't even know what that is.
Luddite YouTubers, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
that sounds like some Canadian shit. I don't hang out with that.
This is the thing. I mean, the idea, everything I'm doing is nothing new. I'm borrowing ideas from everybody. I don't hide that. That's what builds us is knowledge, ideas. If I see something that someone else is doing and I think it'll work or help this or help my life be easier, yeah, that's what this life is about. And admittedly, it was Henry and Lauren.
Yeah.
Their setup. I was thinking, God, that would be cool. And then I saw the production talent of like Ian on We Are Awake, and of course Paul. His timing and creativity is divine, man. I envisioned actually trying to incorporate a bunch of different people and talent.
It may happen still.
Well, what does this feel like the beginning of Fight Club?
This is Relaxation
can I throw it out
Club
there?
flow
Part
state.
of the reason that I don't go on Paul's channel all the time is because
don't judge how I relax,
my
John.
wife hates Paul.
Okay.
Maybe Grease at best.
He heard her. He was talking shit about her one day on the stream, and she happened to overhear it. And ever since then, she's had a hard-on for him.
Right. And you don't dedicate yourself to understanding men and women and how to lead in any area. And that's why you've not corrected that behavior one way or the other. See? And that's why when Jennifer came on after 6 months of dealing with me, I don't get loud with her. I don't get abusive with her. I don't even tell her what she should do. I just reveal perspectives to her that make her better for herself. You can't do that and won't do that because you don't apply yourself with dedication to anything in your life.
Paul, you said a few things there, and number one, the things you said he hasn't developed, I have, and so that's why
everyone's left you and you have no women in your life.
Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul.
Yeah, that completely makes sense.
Hey, Paul. And that's why we are working together to help support each other in different ways. And what I heard you saying, there's a difference, Paul. There's a difference between offering the truth and forcing the fucking truth. And I see you forcing your truth on others.
Force a dog to sit. So there's no such thing as forcing. If I'm not putting my hands on you or yelling at you or cursing at you, you're feeling forced because that's the.
Go back and think about your words because there is something to it. Yes, feeling forced, you're right. Now, truth sometimes is uncomfortable, brother. And it doesn't always have to be shoved at people like a dagger. Now, I've been trying to present truth to you kindly, Paul. Many people who care about you, including and especially those on this platform, we've been gently trying to get you to see your own behavior.
Right. Would you? I want the truth giving to me at pleasing tones at all times because I'm the arbiter of the universe.
Fucking
I'm not trying to do that to Paul, by the way. I don't, I don't want to change anyone here. Everyone is.
I know. Well, here's the problem, Dick. I love you, but here's the problem. You have been part of his echo chamber and part of his enablers, enabling his behavior, his abuse, verbal abuse, his gaslighting and manipulation of facts. I have called him the false light, okay? Because that's what he is presenting himself.
Yeah, that's an unfair characterization, man. That's
kind of broad strokes. I feel like that's unfair.
How about if it's
I think that's fair.
Low, Jack.
How about if it's explained by the evidence? I mean, the facts of a false light, someone who is presenting wisdom, the light of wisdom, sharing the truth, but
Jack, don't be a kettle.
In a fashion that is.
Paul is our brother, and we're sharpening iron with iron. and he's
right.
to make us
let him
better.
finish. I'm with you guys. Let him finish this statement, because there's no way that I think that this is going to ring true with Paul. I'm interested in hearing it.
The false light is using the light of truth to share fear, to share anger, to share those feelings of division. That is the false light, because the light of truth shines brightly through Paul. I said that from fucking day one, and I said that on Lauren's panel. I've given him so much credibility. And
it's not enough, though.
Well, it's never enough for him, because he is delusional. He's been enabled for so long, he doesn't understand what is true.
Here we go.
Here's my
assessment.
Sorry, I was talking to my people, Jack. It's quite the opposite. Everything you say is inverse. They've tried to disable me constantly, many people, for many years in many areas, but I'm delusional, right? Like, you get no static or friction, you get no consequences, you take money from the government. They just shut my PayPal down again today.
Confusion.
Right. So, they've been trying, despite the tries to disable me from communicating the truth and living in the truth and walking in the way and receiving the blessings. That is the Antichrist. And you constantly appeal to that sort of energy when you're put on the spot, right? You come front loaded with love and care and here for everybody and save the world. But when you're put on the spot, as you say, I don't get put on the spot. I get the spotlight. You get put on the spot, and then you revert right back to that false light you talk about, detracting from all the nice things, more importantly, true things you've said about me and our experience, right into what you want it to be and don't want it to be, to obfuscate and gaslight, as you say, what everyone's done and not done. And that's exactly
but Paul, why do you think that a lot of people are gravitating towards, not even saying gravitating, but actually seeing Jack's point of view on his criticisms
I wonder
of
if
you?
there's an
It's not just
objective
Jack, it's
measuring
other
stick.
people as well too.
Well, you can't speak for everybody. And I wonder if there's an objective measuring stick, that like a reference point to sort of gauge this back and forth, so that we don't kind of go with the you're delusional, no, you're delusional, because that's a never-ending whack-a-mole.
Right. Well, Flo, this is exactly what I have been trying to present. We can discuss facts, but Paul won't shut up with his fucking opinions.
Well, I mean, but the way that you're using those words there, I mean, anybody could use that, right? Like,
Jesus Christ.
What?
Relax, Jack. Relax.
Hey, you know what, Flo? Let's be quiet. Let's take a break. Scott, you've been here silent. Do you have anything to add? You're welcome here, brother. By the way, this is the first time I think we've met, but I think I spoke highly about you.
You invoked my name, so I pulled myself in on your train.
Well, bless you.
Paulie,
got any
Paulie put us all backstage. Excuse me, Joe?
I was asking, did you have any observations from what you've been seeing up here?
There's a lot to unpack, brother. There's a lot to unpack. I mean, you know, there's a way to get there where you want to go, and you have to keep remembering, no matter where you go, there you are. So,
I think I understand.
Paul, I mean, you're starting from, you're starting from ground zero, Jack. If you're talking about changing the world and changing, holy fuck, you need to be Michael Jackson. I mean, and even he was able to clear, what's that? He was able to clear the hurdle on a few things. I mean, but it's tough. You're up against a system that has been handed over to the beast by God. So, in essence, to be the Christ-like character that Paul wants to be, you got to start walking on water, and walking the walk and talking the talk are two different things. While Keith over-talking him, and if he over-talks people, he gets frustrated because Keith's got probably the better of the messages that I've heard. When you come to that's Wizard, if you know. Then Paul is actually a very intelligent guy, and what's really intelligent about him that everybody can learn from is that he's very introspective. The problem of his introspection is his frequency just fucking dives because he's always looking backwards. So that's a very low frequency to be on. And I'm just watching it and I'm going, well, you're devolving. And he's starting to look at himself. I can tell that. But then he comes right back into that. Now, the other problem that he has is he gets too far, and you're doing this. You get too far into the future. Fuck, you're here right now, man. No matter where you go.
Amen.
You're here.
Amen.
This is where you are. And if you're not fucking present here, then don't go nowhere else. Now, I'm going to say one other thing. I'm going to say one other thing that's an observation. And I've had some years on you guys, probably maybe without, too many, I hope, but been around a lot of people, and I had to train. I grew up, and a rock star was my friend when I was 13, and I started going, yeah, fuck you, it's like, what?
Yeah, I'll never forgive you for that, Scott, because I was that rock star.
Yeah, okay, well, you just passed a couple years ago, so if you're talking to me from the great beyond, hey, dude, what's happening?
Hello.
But needless to say, he just took it, and he's like, we're friends. Why would you do that? Why would you say that? And brought me into a realization that, talking over people, putting people down. If you've heard the same joke, if I came on your broadcast and told you the same joke for the 15th time, if you think it's rude, if you think it's fucking unfucking kempt, if you don't like it, if you don't think it's funny, still, if you want to draw more viewers, if you want to draw a bigger audience, if you want people to like you better laugh. Everybody better laugh. You get along. I used to tell my buddies, we'd go out and we'd have a group of girls, and then, they'd start fucking pining for one or pining. Hey, fuck you. Hey, fatso, this, that, and the other. I'm like, dude, follow me. This is the way you do it. If I say jump, y'all jump. If I say laugh, y'all laugh. If I tell a stupid joke, laugh anyways. And here's the point. The girls are all going to want to be around guys that are getting along. They're not going to be around. I mean, if you're just fucking chaos and mayhem, well, you can get the wrong kind of girls. You can get the wrong kind of people that aren't going to be able to carry any fucking message forward that might be worth a damn.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt after your patience, especially after your patience. What I heard you saying, though, is a couple of things. The first one, your previous point, and not just Paul, but it's an example for all of us. What you said is the tendency to get caught in the past and to lose sight of where we are. This society, that's where the brainwashing has come in, is children and all of us. Anxiety. Well,
it's
anxiety.
A clock. It's a big clock.
It's a clock. Yeah.
Hey, there you go. So to find balance with time, become one.
Lose it. Well, do you remember what Prince said? Excuse me for interrupting, and I'm one of those. If I do interrupt you, my apologies. I can go to Wizard's plan, which is Robert's Rules of Order. I yield.
Where we're all gonna go. Sorry, I'm talking to my people because now I'm having to.
Well, all right. Here, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Scott. Go ahead.
The Prince, and I'll just go back to, when he was young, he said, I don't age because I had a birthday, but that was once a long time ago. I've never had another one. Why would you talk to me about my birthday? I don't have a calendar. I don't have a clock. I don't age. Look, I'm the same as I was 10 years ago. Look how beautiful I am. Now, Prince was an amazing guy. He believed in himself that he just kept sending shit to people. That's how you have to do it. That's how you did it in the day. And hey, everybody, he's going, you like Michael, but listen to me. Once he took a rep from a studio and said, look, just come to the studio and listen to me. She was a writer for Beat Magazine. I don't think it was Beat Magazine, Jet or something. He said, just come to the studio, listen to me, and let me show you what I can do. And he played every fucking instrument in the damn studio. And she said, I'll write the article. And that's how he got started. Now, you can do all the talking in the world, but you got to reach out to the people that can help pull you higher. And you got to reach out to them in a way that they'll accept your communication, okay? If you're reaching out to, here's Sales 101. If I'm calling you and I'm calling you and I'm calling you and I'm not getting a response, stop fucking calling me is the fucking thought I have. Okay. Now, if I'm emailing you, and you don't respond, don't email me. If I hit you up on fucking LinkedIn and you respond, guess what? I just fucking locked in on your chosen method of communication. You'll respond to people that are on LinkedIn. They're communicating with other business people.
So can you bring that analogy more direct? You know, I know it's an analogy. Can you make it more direct for the simple people like me? He needs to do what, or who needs to do
find
what?
People where they are.
Find people where they
everybody needs to find people where they are. Don't try and look over them. Don't try and put them where you need them to be so that you can communicate with them. Because if you try and do that, they're never going to be there.
I give one of my friends advice: change yourself. If that person is being stubborn, and you really want to get through, if that's your intention is to get through, change your approach.
Adapt.
Yeah.
Let me toss a couple of things I've learned too. What you're saying, absolutely. There's something to persistence. There's something about timing. There's something to the approach. And Scott, I love what you said. You know, reach out to those who you believe could be of help to you. Something I learned from Tony Robbins too, and it's just logical. It just makes sense. If you're going to go to someone and ask them for some help, you better be prepared to present them what you've got, right? And so the key to that, the key to your success is to know what you've got to offer. Bring the value of what's the incentive of someone helping you out.
Yeah.
And man, I've been knocking on doors. I've been trying to create opportunities. I have.
Listen, there's a world out there, and fake it till you make it is okay to say on one rule only: if you have something genuine behind your grift. Okay, if you're faking it because you got something, like Prince was going, I'm the best. You think Michael's, but he had something to push that with. Okay, nobody knew it, but he had to sell himself to get somebody to pay that attention. So yeah, he had to sound bigger and he had to act bigger and he had to think bigger than he was. But now we know the 5 foot little guy is one of the monsters of fucking music. Come on, everybody knows.
That's not a problem on YouTube. Everybody on here is an egomaniac who thinks they knows the fucking answer. Everybody thinks you just haven't noticed yet, but I'm a god. You haven't noticed yet, but I'm incredible.
You need to pay attention to me, or lightning's gonna fucking get you.
Everybody has that fucking grandiose sensibility.
There's a difference too, though. I mean, you could say that about me because in some aspects, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. At least I feel like I do. But it's not arrogance. It's confidence in my experiential and the evidence and, testimonies of others who are saying the same things as me. My words are validated by many others. I'm just maybe not as experienced in explaining what they're saying, but
there's a lot to unpack with that statement altogether. Everyone should humble themselves because necessity itself compels us to humble one another. I mean, it's just at any point when you think that you have more than the next guy to say, you haven't thought enough about yourself to understand how fucking bold a statement that is.
Brother, that's one of the lessons I've been learning in my own practice, right? The wisdom of silence. We are wise.
Christ, why do you have 2 ears?
Amen. We are wise until we prove ourselves wrong with the speech.
Even
is Prince the musician you were referring to earlier? I gotta ask.
No, I never met Prince. I met a lot of people. I was second row center stage at Jackson 5 concert, though.
I think you are full of shit. By the way, Moose and Talcott, I love your boss mode. Moose and you are fucking kicking out.
Hey,
boss mode,
Cupcake, listen, I love you,
this
man.
guy, stop, man. Scott, you're fucking a fluffy cupcake that talk about Michael Jackson shit. acting like he's not real. But Michael Jackson wasn't he white and then turned black and
other way around? He was black and turned white. Vitiligo.
Why are you bringing up shit that you say is fake and not real? I think you talk a lot, Scott. But
yeah, I do. I have a mouth, man. But you I don't know. You went silent for a minute. I can't hear you hardly.
Okay.
Here, I'm gonna turn you back up.
Having his volume at about 50% is all right.
Yeah, that's
listen, Snafu, you like calling people out. Let's know about you. What do? Do you have anything to offer other than a bunch of bullshit? You want to call people out? Do you know me? Do you know me well enough to call me out?
I called fucking Mike Strutton from Oracle, the #2 data collection agency in the world, motherfucker. Worked with Alex Jones, called Pogos out. I actually got the proof of what I've done.
My partner, when I created,
I respect you, Snafu. I respect you.
You talk like, oh, Michael Jackson, we got to get real. Wasn't the dude acting white and then black and then the pedo optics too? It seems like you support
Can you support that claim?
It seems like you're a fluffy
Can you
cupcake.
support that claim?
Scott.
Do you know him?
Hey,
Can you support
you
that
know
claim?
I'm not a hug-a-buddy. You know I'm not a hug-a-buddy.
Serious. Hey, can you relax, dude? Please. Holy shit, man.
Oh, my God.
Got a blood sugar situation.
Hey, the art of relaxation is the topic today. I just want to remind everyone.
Snafu, if you're in the background, excuse me for interrupting you, Talcott, but he didn't believe, he's like, what have you done? What have you done for fucking us? Blah, 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 this. I don't know the guy at all, but I told him I posted some stuff for Keith because I like Keith's stuff and invited him into a few things of mine. And then he's like, and I said, besides the fact I've stood for fucking freedom, what have you done? Oh my God. It's like, it doesn't matter what you say. He's not going to accept anything. But I did post a video of me telling the fucking sheriff to go kick rocks. My car's staying on that water meter. It stayed there for months. So it's posted on Keith's channel. And this guy's trying to challenge me. But at this point, he has nothing to challenge with because all he has is a big mouth, a loose tongue. And my God, I wouldn't want to be in a foxhole that was a guy that couldn't shut up. He can't.
Well, hey. Here's the thing, the art of silence, okay? When we make all these accusations, what's the word in the scripture about false testimony?
Yeah, kind of like Mr. Scott, false testimony, everything he says.
Well,
so I don't know. Excuse me. Can I just respond to that? So I don't know anything about Biggie Smalls and Uncle Luke from 2 Live Crew and that track that was on.
What does that fucking matter in today's world?
You're the one calling me out saying that
I know fucking. I've worked with Wave Audio for years.
Challenge me? Are you just nobody that's stepping up when I'm trying to?
About mainstream bullshit, bro. You talk shit. Jack Talcott and Moose and Paul and even Joe Cool. These guys actually have a little you have jumped on a bandwagon.
For 1 second? I've been waiting in back for a while. I've been waiting patiently in the back for a while.
That's true.
Yeah.
How many times do you fucking name drop, Scott? You worldly Hollywood freak. How many times? I don't give a fuck that
Never
you
been
and
to
the
Hollywood.
Wizards suck each other's dick.
To challenge
I don't give a fuck that you and the
let
Wizards
go,
suck each
Scott.
other's dick. How many times are you going to name drop two?
What the hell?
You gotta let him go, guys. It was his turn. You let him start talking.
Yeah,
you don't
why
get
would
to
you
cut
put
him
him
off.
back when you should let him
look
talk?
at my Facebook. I don't need to name drop. I know thousands of people.
I landed on Ron Jeremy when I was crowd surfing at a Buckcherry concert.
What?
Guys, here, you know what, Scott? It sounds like you've had a cool experience. And
yeah, not trying to take over your show. This should have been calm and collect. That's what I thought it was going to be. And then I saw Polly.
Yeah.
Here's what. My apologies, but I was on Polly's live. Several people were on. He left everybody in the lurch to come over here and start a fight. And I sat back and I went, why are you even holding the show? Why do you even try and hold an audience if you can't hold your own shit together?
Those are valid questions and valid
What's going on?
Yeah.
And now the same thing. I'm not trying to tell nobody what to do. If that's what you're building your audience on, it's going to go to here, and then that's going to be your fucking water line.
Hey, I don't know. You're right, Scott. You're right, but I don't know if you know how these guys started. That dynamic of yelling, which I don't like, over talking people and shit, but that's been part of their fucking dynamic.
I understand that.
I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it's part of what's been working.
When somebody comes in and you just automatically fuck them off. That's okay, but you wonder who you're talking to sometimes, because if you think you're Jesus and you don't want to take on a prophet, that's fucked up.
Jack's already got one.
Obviously, I mean, but if you don't want somebody, you don't want to take on look, all I'm going to say is I've walked the walk. I've talked the talk. I can sit here and regurgitate the stuff that I've done, because in order to remember songs that we fucking recorded, you've listened to them 5,000 times by the time it's all done, and I've got.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt, Scott, but I've got to ask, what is the connection between you and Two Live Crew? I grew up with that, man.
Before you answer that, I want to say you're such a blessing to this broadcast tonight, and we really appreciate your time, your energy, and your participation. That goes for Dick as well, Joe Cool, Flo, and even Paul and the rest that have come up here today. We hope that you come back and you come correct, as they would say. Thank you.
Can I speak to the production value thing? Whatever you're doing, a producer is behind the scenes. He's trying to do something that makes the thing happen. Usually a producer in music is doing the music. Okay. You're handling the video here. You can stay in the background. You can mute yourself, do whatever. If you look at most of the shows out there, there's always somebody who's pulling up content for the guy who's talking about it. Okay, he can't fucking be, and there's always somebody that's pulling up the messages and saying, "Hey, answer this. This is a good one."
Right.
Okay. So if you have 2 or 3 people, you can be more efficient. So
that's
remember
how my
this.
friends do it all over the place.
You're saying he's Jamie to Jack's Joe Rogan.
You have listen, and there's people
his name.
behind
That dude
Jamie,
is
by the way.
He's
There's
talented, bro.
There's people behind Jamie. He's just the one that they're naming, because if they name anybody else, they got to pay him. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's the deal. 1 man can do so much. 2 men can do the work of 3. 3 men can do the work of 5. 5 men can do the work of 12. You damn near got your apostles once you got a handful.
Amen, brother. You're absolutely right. And what you're describing, in my opinion, Paul is one of those rare few who can do it all. The guy is he's watching the chat. He's pulling up his stuff. He's doing the sound effects.
Yeah.
He does it all. I'm not
He can't
him.
control himself though when necessity compels him to.
And brother, that's the other point I do want to bring up, not to promote or to.
I love the guy. I think he's fucking rock solid intelligent, but the fucking, I just wonder how hard or how badly he hurts inside. I don't know if anybody's found out.
What about Snafu?
I believe I've imagined how
Snafu,
much.
I don't know. I mean, that guy's a little off center. I mean, I love everybody. I don't want any beef with anybody. I mean, I'll walk away. I'll agree with you if you said I've done wrong with you, because I do what Jesus did. All right, that's the way to walk. All right, so agree with your adversaries and then fucking turn the other cheek. If you want to smack me.
When you say agree, you don't mean that you can be false in your agreement. You may find true places of agreement.
No. I agree with you, but I want proof. I want, if you have.
I mean agree with your enemies. I'm saying you're not saying be
that's an interesting
nefarious about it, right? I can't say yes, I agree with you, Jack, just for the sake of a look, right? I have to be telling the truth, right?
If there's a claim against you, I'm saying if you have a claim made against you, you say, look, I want to take this before someone, but I'm going to agree with you just so we can take this. But I need proof of claim, because I don't remember anything you're talking about. I never saw anything.
No. Again, I don't understand what you mean by agreement. Can you be more specific? I'm sorry to be a dick, y'all. I don't understand what you mean. I think that you're saying that it's okay just to get along with Jack. I can say, yeah, I agree with you. And to me, I can't do that.
No. I'm just saying, to avoid conflict, the agreement, and now in this setting right here where you're trying to create viewership, but if you think the best way to move a forward message on Christianity, on love, on peace, on understanding, on community, on fucking togetherness,
okay.
If you think that that's disagreement or it's fucking disenfranchising one of anyone, then I think you're mistaken, because you know, the message that America had, bring us you're tired, you're sick. That's the message that we're supposed to stand behind, and we fucking fail it so miserably. And now, not these people at the border. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about we have to look at the children. We have to look at the old widows. We have to pay attention. Of course, these people, the migrants, but the ones that are really being harmed, the ones that are being trafficked right now, which to my knowledge, I don't know anything about it enough to say, but could be the whole lot of them. I mean, this is such a mess that it's beyond me.
What do you think we do with the migrants, Scott?
We have to help them. I mean, because listen,
yeah.
you know, there are people just like you and me. So
yeah, let me
how, I
jump
don't know.
in with.
You don't have to help anybody. That's not true. That's completely.
It's back to where they came. They should go.
Let's
We
help
need to
their
help them
home.
back.
Yeah, let's help their homes restore. Most of these migrants, they don't
If
want
all
to
you
leave the
provided
homes that
was
are.
if all you provided was liberty, that would be enough, would it not be?
Well,
I mean, if you just had a basic foundation of free thinking, independent people, wouldn't that be the best gift you could give to any society or any people that might come here trying to
I
form
think
a life?
along those
If
lines, Dick.
people were
Yes, I
not
don't think.
slaves,
Yeah, we got to kick them back.
if people were not
Yeah, I
slaves,
agree with
we'd
that.
be helping each other. But hey, Scott,
I don't want a
the
government
point I was-
system kicking anybody anywhere, just for the record. I just didn't want to be mischaracterized there, Jack.
I missed what you said, but
That I don't.
No, don't repeat it. Oh, go ahead. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
thanks.
I didn't want Jack to forget his thought. He's fucking trying
Go
to hold
ahead,
that
Jack.
motherfucker life for a long
No,
time.
you're right. I'm being rude.
what I was trying to get across, Scott, is I've been saying this for a while. Number one, you're welcome here. As of right now, 5:30 in the evenings, that's what we're going to be doing is some discussions on what I feel are pretty important topics, kind of the things you're talking about. Love, spirituality, what Paul discusses, freedom, common law, solutions. Because I believe we are here to bring the light, to be the hope for those in need, to help end the suffering of those who are suffering and in fear right now. And I believe, with all the changes that have been happening and all there's disasters right now. There's wars breaking up, civil unrest, there's climate changes. There is stuff happening, and humanity needs to find, not needs. Humanity has the opportunity still to find different ways for us to get along with each other. But it's going to come down to communication. It's going to come down to conviction and commitment from us all. But I'm trying to do my part here and share things that I believe can help us all. And the purpose, I want to speak at the UN. I think a step to do so is through the United States government, the citizens
What's
of the
the
capital.
point of that, Matt? And sorry to interrupt. What's the point of that? I've heard that from Paulie. Then fucking Snafu's yelling at me, "Get Talcott into the fucking UN!" And I'm like, what the fuck? And I didn't even understand what he was saying at first. He was talking so far over fucking me. I was like, I'm tired, and then I started realizing, get him in. The only way that anybody's going to get into the UN is fucking check themselves in through security, get over their passports.
Yep.
If you think you're Russell J. Gould, that's a fucking guy who mailed himself to the
brother. To answer your question, these are the conversations that I've been hoping to have on here, because it sounds outlandish and it sounds foolish, and why would you? But what you said is right.
If you could get your message there, because let me ask you, your message is what you want there. Do you?
Very simple, very simple. It's time for the truth to be known. Okay, and the truth is, there's a loving God. There's a God who loves us all, and that we are here at this time to bring forth the new, to overcome the darkness, to expose the lies and the corruption that are keeping humans fucking paying for wars and sleeping in the streets and creating these situations where humans become immigrants and then illegal.
Jack, I can't think of, I've said this before, you know where I stand on this. I can't think of any less receptive audience to that message.
than you.
It's a tough sell. It's a tough sell.
I see what you did there.
I'm presenting it. Here's the deal. I'm a messenger for that which I've learned. I'm not manipulating. I'm not deceptive. I'm presenting the facts in the best ways that I can. But
we know that this is an institution
Did you understand
in the
their
business of not having those facts surfaced, right?
Pardon?
But I mean, don't we agree that the UN is a terrorist organization? It's an institution that has no interest in anything that you're saying.
Well, the thing is today I don't have to convince them. I've convinced Moose to join me in this effort, and I'm still pursuing people in my local community, trying to find other leaders and citizens, people, neighbors who want to join my efforts. But right now, all I have to do is convince you guys and anyone who's tuning in.
That'd be the start of it. And if that's the case, you should be listening to us. All of us think it's a tough sell. Not that it's unsellable, but it's a tough sell. So you got to go in there slicker, so and so. I mean, you got to go in there with something fucking incredible. I don't even know what it is.
I mean, it almost seems suicidal.
I just got to get in there. I just have to get in there. That's the only thing.
Okay, let's assume. No. That's the easy part, and it's difficult as fuck. But that is the easy part.
Dude, I can't even speak to my son. I can't convince my neighbors to talk to me. So right now, I'm at this point. My faith is in God, and God has brought me to now. And right now, I'm presenting what I know.
Well,
that's a start. But God,
those things are more important. Sorry.
But let's say you're in there. What would be your go-to first bullet points that you would discuss with them? I'm just curious, on the presentation. What do you want?
I'm going to be a dick here. I'm going to say what Jack's going to say. I just wanted you to know, as if they didn't know, men are evil. We need to come together. That seems to be your answer every time.
Hold on.
I doubt that. I don't think that would be it.
Hold on. This is what I've been doing for months. I'm asked a question, and then I sit around watching everyone paint these false fucking narratives of what I would do. So the question is, what would I do? Number one, I would bring us all into a state of presence, right? With some calm.
Let me shut up.
I would bring us all into the moment so that we are all grounded into the being of that time. Because what I understand about humans is we can all understand each other, right? Especially when the words are agreed. Once we understand the meanings of the words and the topics that we're discussing, we can all understand each other as long as the words are truthful, right? They're logical, follow reasoning. They can be understood.
Can you say those words right now to us?
Well, to improve our individual lives is the same as the collective. We want to rid ourselves and this world of excuses and blame. Any distortions from the truth create insanity in the human being. I prove it. I need an opportunity for someone willing to hear the case. But it's pretty simple.
That's the case. We just heard that you go in there.
And I agree with the case for what it's worth.
Me and the guys, we smuggle you in, knock a couple guards over the head, and put you in a nice suit. You get 60 seconds, maybe 2 minutes. You say that is the case that you're going to present. Yeah, those words that you just said.
Misunderstandings, brother, because here's the reality.
Girl, I don't want to know the reality. You got 2 minutes. Can you wrap it up in 2 minutes?
You're not one who's gonna. Hey, you're not dictating the conditions of this situation, and I'm not
assuming you only get 2 minutes.
Joe, you're presenting this. We bust in there, and we're gonna have guards. We only got no bullshit. What's gonna happen is we are going to create. I'm going to be invited. And if not me, someone else will be invited to present the truth and the truth of consciousness, the truth of equality, the importance of truth. And the reality is these citizens, these people, whether they recognize it or not, just like everyone here, just like everyone who's listening to these words, we all have the opportunity in this life to change this world. Now, the citizens in the United States government and those who get, flown and traveled and through the security to go represent people at the UN, they actually have the connections and ability to change the future completely.
I think we just deflected from what we were talking about. Yes, I agree that other people have the ability to change. Not Jack's, whoever fucking
everybody does, right?
Yes. Yeah. Dick's question was, what do you say when you go in there? And you say stuff like, don't do it. Don't interrupt me. You say stuff like, I'll resonate the feeling and get our chi in order with each other. And then I will let him know that man does better when he does good than when he does bad. It's, to me, it's a weird fucking plan. I could be wrong, and that could be what God got for you, man. But I'm always yelling at you, and we get into this back and forth right here because I want a better fucking plan. I want that fucking shit where it hits me.
Brother, sometimes our plans prevent us from executing because we spend so much time in preparation.
Agree.
We miss opportunities. And hey, Joe, based on your location, how do I have a conversation with you? I want to try and connect somehow. I'm going to drop, if I drop my number.
Yeah, I'll get it out the back chat.
Right. Please.
I don't do a lot of talking, but apparently I do a lot of texting. I prefer not to be gushy and shit on the phone.
Whatever works, man. You were in my thoughts today, Joe Cool, and I mentioned it to Moose on one of our conversations earlier.
Hey, for Joe, those who don't, but you're not on board trying to change the government, right? Or is that one of your motivations, is to try to go in and
me?
Yeah.
I would like to get the government's foot off of people's neck, yeah.
So you want to make a plan. So you and Jack actually do align on that. You want to make a plan of some sort.
Oh God, yes. And I like different approaches too. So I'm okay, with supporting him on even crazy shit that I consider crazy. I think what I do is crazy.
Hey,
what you do is crazy. What you do is great. I've seen your videos. You go out there and address these policy enforcers, so-called.
I try, my biggest thing that I try to do is to deprogram people, right? And give a message saying that this guy has no authority over you. You don't let him tell you what to do. That is my and I'm a neophyte. That's what I'm trying to do right now. Empower people to do it themselves. That's my main shit right now.
I think that's combined. I think that's what we're all hoping to do. And Joe, the reason I reached out, or I wanted to reach out, there's a YouTube channel, Really Graceful, for those who may or may not know her. She does some pretty cool work, and she highlighted some craziness going on in Chicago, and that and it kind of brought one of your recent videos into a different context for me. Kind of the seriousness of.
There's been so much craziness here. Was it the kid that got ran over down on Western? Was it the couple that got beat up downtown? Was it the well, you probably didn't hear about that. The old man got shot, and the kid got shot, but that probably didn't make the news. Was she talking? Was it our new mayor? He's in the news about doing dumb shit.
It was a combination of a lot of things. She's very insightful as far as
I'm sorry, I meant to be looking her up. Really Graceful?
Yeah, Really Graceful. Anyway, the mayor and all sorts of things were brought up, but connections are what it's at. And I can see the work you're doing, Joe. And I asked before, I called my buddy today from Chicago, left him a message because I would love to see if there's any value in you guys connecting.
Anybody that comes to Chicago, I'm that guy they call. If you got a layover or somebody from a different state is going to call me, I'm going to pick you up. If you got time, we're going to go downtown. If you got time, we're going to cop watch. If it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I still get those calls. And yes, I go if it's just sitting in the airport with them. So yes, I would start. And most of these niggas I take on places, we go get dinner. I show them, shit. Fuck yeah. If you got a friend out here, man, Fuck yeah,
That's
treat him nice.
That's the type of man he is too. He was a big influence on me when I was a kid. But hey, Paul, welcome back, brother. You've been patient, and feel free, jump
Yeah,
in
I'm the
with
most
anything
patient
on
out
your
of
mind.
everyone here, and that's kind of the
Well,
irony is that I'm told to relax and be patient when I'm the most relaxed and patient in the face of a bunch of infidel slaves who are trying to star fucking name drop, right? So the star fucking name dropping has to stop if you really want true connection to your resource rather than the worldly resources you keep chasing for and clutching for that I keep rebuking. Wait till I bring up all the offers you all would have taken because you can't wait to get to some money, power, and pussy again because maybe you touched a little bit of it, but not enough for your own life, right?
There's no facts that really support the narrative that you're building.
No, not at all, man. Not at all. I know.
Well,
just saying what I feel, just move right past it. Why even address it? I'm an antichrist and or a cult leader and or a fool and or an angry man who can't relax. Just move forward.
Hey.
Just let me say what I feel and don't keep arguing with me. Just let me say what I feel for the people.
You'll feel better if you look for the value instead of undervalue.
Right, I'm here talking to the people. You're here talking to each other how to get beyond the people, right? That's
all right.
difference.
Say what you want, brother. I'm not
I'm saying,
I appreciate that.
Let him speak. And Jack, I'm sorry, Paul, let Jack get out more than the first two sentences. That's where y'all start going astray.
I was offering Paul opportunity to speak, but Paul, seriously, man, there's value in everyone. Okay, we don't have to focus on the problems or on the negativity or the way people might fuck us over. There's a way that people can help, and it's not using. There's ways each of us can serve each other if we want to share what we've got available with each other. It's service.
I don't want to serve you, and I don't want to be served by any of you. Simple. We're here to serve truth.
Right.
We're not here to serve each other, except in certain venues. And this ain't it with what you're talking about. You want to serve me? Bring me something to drink.
Bullshit.
So I can continue to bring people the truth rather than you talking to each other who's going to pull you up. You sound like a bunch of hoes.
No.
You and Scott here.
Paul.
What's wrong with you, man? I'm sorry, Paul, but you're some conceited individual. You're so
right. I know
everybody.
I'm conceited, right? You didn't
No, you're
above
above your own father. It's like you fucking gave birth to him.
You didn't come in and all arrogant, douchey, and smarmy. Keep name dropping.
No, I came inexperienced. Your problem is you're inexperienced. You don't know how to talk to a motherfucker.
You think 2 Live Crew wants to hear you? You think 2 Live Crew wants to hear your fat white ass keep going around everywhere you can go with somewhere and talk about them and what you've done?
Let him talk. I want to hear this guy needs a brain check.
All right, Scott. Out of respect, I didn't know where you wanted to be.
That's all right. Paulie, you're all good. If you could slow down and listen to yourself.
I don't need your tutelage. This is what you don't get.
I'm not telling you right on another
since
channel.
the moment you met me, thinking I need your fucking tutelage.
I haven't
You need to listen to me,
I haven't said a fucking thing to you. Paul, can you stop for a minute? I haven't said a fucking word to push back on you at all. I haven't talked shit about you.
You came over here and you said
I came over here because you left me hanging on your show. You walked away with no goddamn
I left
reason.
you hanging on my
you left
show.
everybody.
Well,
you
would
left
know
Wizard.
if you
You just
listen,
walked over here and
Chubby.
picked a fight.
If you listen, if you close your mouth and listen, you know I don't do a show. I'm not in the entertainment.
Right, Paul. You present
gurus. I just entertain.
Why are you putting a link out if this is not what you're doing? What's your point?
Hey, Scott, well observed. I mean, those are facts. I'm not defending or excusing, but what Paul does is he makes excuses. You're right. It's not a show.
He wants everybody in a bad fucking state. I mean, he wants everybody going like this so that he can go in and go, you're bad. See, I told you, you're a fucking infidel. You're a slave. You're scared of everybody, even me, because I can talk over you. I'm smarter than you, you dumb fuck. It's what's happening.
Well,
and people they like to watch the train wreck.
You're right, Scott. So let's help avoid the train wreck, okay? And
I didn't witness it.
Here, Scott, if you and Paul converse again, I got a little advice if you're open to it. Don't just please don't get into the shouting thing where he says a couple words, you shout over him, he says a couple. If you could keep it where both you guys can complete a complete thought, I'd be grateful as well.
You know, that would be great if Paul could find a way to cooperate with a discussion, but if you allow a moment to pause, right, you
don't even have to allow a moment. You get one sentence and he jumps on. See, Paul, the problem is you don't understand. I don't understand. Is that what you're saying? He doesn't never let you complete that fucking thought, so I can't balance the conversation because I'm not a fucking mind reader. I don't know what the guy was going to say.
Hey, guys, I want to interrupt. We don't need to talk about people anymore, right? We can move past the discussion of people. Hard Hat, you just showed up. Always welcome you, brother. And I know you probably came over from Paul's show. So
you got some nervous energy, Jack, already. Yes.
No, I didn't come from Paul's show. I was actually watching in your chat, and I actually enjoy being in the chats. It's a different angle for me, and there's a whole fellowship in the chat. I popped up here because I kind of got a bit of a beef with Moose, I guess, and I'm not trying to bring controversy, but he just, I guess, banned for the night some guy in the chat, this Michael A guy, and I'm going through the chat, and I don't know, he wasn't. That's why I like to hear from Moose what it was, but here's the thing, Jack. It's a slippery slope. I went over to Ian's channel for 2 days a while ago and was in the chat and trying to like, hey, what's up, and communicate, and I got silenced right away for fuck all, right? And so I was done. It's like, so I'm just saying, if Moose has this power of banning people, and maybe this guy was talking shit about him, I don't know, but the good thing I like about Paul's chat is pretty much he lets anything go on in there in a sense, and he'll call a guy up and say, you know, if the guy's trolling, he'll invite him up to say, hey, say your piece.
Well,
but for the most part, he's not, that I'm aware of, banning people, and I don't think Moose should be fucking, like, I don't know why. Sorry.
Hey, Hard Hat, not to interrupt, but here, I'm typically an example of an exception to the rule. I was blocked from chat from Paul for quite some time. He was kind enough. Who knows where it'll end up after today, but he was kind enough this morning to unblock me from the chat. And so I respect Hard Hat. Moose and I, we've had discussions about we don't want a restrictive, no. But I also, at this point, we're trying to build some legs and trying to build some credibility and some stability in what we're producing together here in this platform. So words of the censorship and the blocking, they've been heard, but Mr. Paul, he's not quite as perfect as many people like to present him as. He's got his rules and he does his things as well. So
I think Paul times niggas out and tell them to get your ass on panel. That could be someone else I'm thinking. I think Paul does that though. Say if you want to voice yourself, get on panel.
And you know what? I respect that. Actually, that's one of the things I truly do respect about Paul is, he's not shy about welcoming and inviting. You got a disagreement, you got a problem with me, bring it forward.
Paul likes to fight, right?
Has he ever been wrong? Has he ever been wrong?
And that's the issue. He invites the issue I have with him is that he invites the fight and disagreement, but I don't see much willingness
to resolve a thing.
To resolve.
With that fighting. When I'm saying
it's
fighting, I'm trying to argue
it's all conflict. If he doesn't like your message, for instance, I'm just privy to this recently, and through Keith, I found Paul and watched a few things and caught maybe the better side of this. I'm going to go back and check the fucking record because what I've seen is an explosion of what the fuck.
Hey, here, Scott, I'm sorry to interrupt, but here, what you're experiencing with Paul, I've said this multiple times. Paul and I have a lot of similarities. We both draw out the ego in each other.
Dope.
Paul helped me find some shadows within me when I first discovered him, but I've been overcome my reactive state. Well, Paul hasn't yet discovered. Well, he still presents his ego pretty strongly, and that's what we're seeing. But, and I don't mean to cut off the conversation, but I do have the goal of providing consistency and kind of smaller bites of time for people if they want to review the broadcast. So I think we should start wrapping it up tonight, if that's all right with you guys.
Yeah, I wanted to try the new guy for a while. I wanted to ask Scott a few questions and see if what's his metal. Where he's coming from. All right, if that's okay.
Shoot fire, I'm listening.
My man.
Yep.
Is Scott, if you're the guy who makes the rules, what do you do about drugs?
About what?
Drugs, heroin.
What heroin?
Yeah.
Heroin particularly?
Oh yeah, we can start there.
I mean, I have a background of studying drugs when I was 13 years old, unfortunately.
Join the club.
So probably, the thing is, and I don't want to tell the story of who or what or where too far, but I've come across plenty of addiction in my life, and the only way I've been able to solve anybody's problem of addiction, whatever the substance, is to get them to look at themselves in the mirror.
I'm sorry. So, as the universal world leader over here who tells people what to do, is that
simply? Yeah, I've never looked at it on a grand scale like that. I mean, you got to go to supply and demand. I mean, if you're looking at it like that, you have to realize that this is one of the GDP of half the country, half the countries out there. Our country, it's 40% of our GDP. So, as a leader of a country, if I could fucking step up, then my first fucking priority beyond, getting back to the Constitution, actually the Articles of Confederation, because fuck the Constitution, that got screwed up a little more. The de jure land grab, if you will. But I don't know, man. I'd go at a lot of different things. I'd have to say that beyond
Scott,
beyond just the drugs is finances. Yeah.
What do you do if you're president? Do you fucking make the shit legal? Do you outlaw? Do you give motherfuckers time, decriminalization? What do you do?
That's a big problem, man. I don't know if I'm qualified enough to say it, but
I just qualified you. You're the man. Go.
Oh, I would legalize marijuana across the board.
Heroin was what I asked you about.
Heroin, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, heroin's
not.
Well, okay, I apologize. I would make heroin. It's the fuck. They you know what we did with heroin? We turned over.
I don't want a fucking history lesson. What would you do?
I'd make it illegal. It's fucking black tar heroin. It's killing people.
That was difficult as fuck, bro. That was difficult as fuck for you.
My apologies, Joe.
No.
Don't fucking have a clear answer.
I got you. I got you. It kills motherfuckers. I understand you'd make it illegal. So you'd probably outlaw alcohol as your second act, yeah?
No, I don't think it's good for you, but I wouldn't outlaw that.
But all the people dying from drunk driving and shit.
Sorry.
What's that?
All the people dying from drunk driving and shit. You got to outlaw alcohol. It kills so many people.
Yeah, that's like guns. No, you don't outlaw guns. You don't outlaw alcohol. That's a substance. The heroin's not really the...
Hold on, Jack. Hold on. You gave me a little leeway here. And cigarettes. Do you outlaw cigarettes?
Fire on one end, fool on the other. They're going to have to deal with their own. I don't believe in outlawing anything. I mean, you have a freedom to do it. But I think heroin...
cigarettes and alcohol kill more than all illegal drugs combined, and they're accompanying murders.
Absolutely,
and
I agree.
You would get rid of the lesser one that kills people and keep the other two.
Again, I told you I'm not qualified. I don't even sit on that panel.
Right. Well, I'm not sure what that was all about, Joe.
That
and what
was
trying to.
I could tell you what it was about, but
Just trying to find my fucking whether or not I'm affiliated with this side or the other. I don't really care. I mean, to get above everybody else is not my
you're
plan.
not qualified to answer questions objectively using conscience and right from wrong, and that's why
I'm not even
why
waste
took me from one fucking round
that
to
was
another.
not a waste of time. That was
Hold
necessary.
on. All right. Why? Let me finish what I'm saying. No, actually, Joe, please. Why was that necessary? What was
Very
the
good.
benefit?
Very good, because this is my first time meeting Scott. This is how I will align my questioning. This is how I will gauge him by what comes out of his mouth. I wanted to put him under pressure. That's how a man is tested.
And he failed again, like always.
Well, did he fail, Joe?
He did it. This is not a fail. I don't know pass fail shit, but that is exactly from what he said earlier. Those are the answers I expected, and I asked, and I got those answers.
He absolutely failed because he made it.
Well, Paul, you're always going to judge people as failing.
Right, I can never be right. Okay, am I ever wrong? But I can never be right also. Okay, go ahead.
Paul, do you ever accept being wrong? You're right.
I don't know. Why are we pointing out if I was ever wrong instead of pointing out specifically where I've been wrong?
Well, because it was related to the context of the conversation. Why are you fucking creating disagreements where we don't have to have them? Why don't you just fucking accept what is?
So you don't accept disagreements as part of?
No, I do. I'm actually very good
now. You're lighting up now. You do all of a sudden want disagreements.
I am.
So you don't want them. You do want them.
Well, Paul, if you want to play your
Like
silly
that
egoic games, I'm actually very good at it.
You're not good at all. You're horrible at it. You're just controlling, where you have the ability to be controlling.
Right. That's the whole point of the ego games, dumbass, is the one who's in control. And you keep forgetting where you are. You keep forgetting who you are and that we are all aspects of the one. Right? And there you go. Thank you. Choose love.
Joe, can I respond to you?
Yeah, anything you want. Yeah.
You're shooting out a question out of left field. You're giving somebody who's fucking tired. I mean, I was up half the night with fucking with Paul last night. A worldly question that I am kind of grasping. You know, if you want me to put together a well thought out answer, I'll go to ChatGPT for you.
No. I'd rather have the quick response to what I got right there.
Quick response on drugs. You know, when you're putting it to heroin, I mean, cigarettes enter your. Listen to this. I'll just tell you what I know, whether or not you fucking care. Cigarettes enter your fucking bloodstream 10 times faster than mainline heroin. They're dangerous. Okay. Period. And yeah, it's terrible for you. But to go tell a fucking population full of people to quit tomorrow is asinine. Heroin, we're supporting a whole fucking country being decimated in the fucking Afghanistan. If you look at what Cheney did over there after fucking Bush administration, they built fucking poppy refinery plants. That's what Trump came in and blew the fuck up.
Brother Scott, we hear you, brother. Your words resonate. This is a space where I think we like hearing that. I like hearing that as well. That's sentiment I agree with wholeheartedly that you just shared. And I appreciate you doing that, Jack. Thank you for allowing me on your panel. Joe, cool. Always great to see you. I just want to come in here, bring a little bit of peace. And I got a little quote here, Jack. It's we killed time, time buries us. Right. So are we killing time here? Because I think there's a way to generate some positivity. And without, I just wanted to bring a peaceful energy here, right? Because I think it was needed. And with that, Jack, I love your show. I love the direction it's going. And you bring a lot of great people together to have wonderful conversations. With that, blessings to you as well, Paul, Messenger, and Moose. I'm out here.
Thank you, brother. God
Peace,
bless.
Brother Provo. God bless.
You're in a room, right? That's how you're in a room.
I got a quote for you, Jack. This is one of my own. The obstacles I face are the obstacles I create.
Oh, baby, love it.
It's very true. Hey, and actually with that, I believe the energy Provo just brought was well received, well timed, and from me, well appreciated. I actually think this might be a great time to wrap it up, right? The purpose of today was to discuss the art of relaxation. We experienced see this lack of respect that people offer to each other. It's absolute fucking nonsense. Bunch of clowns we live with.
It's not attractive.
Well, it makes you wonder, is there hope for humanity? Is there really?
Scott 2B, why do you keep speaking on attractive? You're not an attractive being.
Hey, it's a
bullshit. Do you know how the world works? Or are you fucking in a box just figuring it out all by yourself? You're lonely. You're never going to get out of your box because you don't want anybody but you to be in this world. You want to be above everybody immediately. Paulie, well, I'm sorry, but that's just my observation.
That's
Scott,
right, folks.
I'm gonna throw. Let's do this.
Okay? I want to cut out so you can say goodbye to your audience, man. You guys be easy.
Joe, blessings.
Nice talking to you, Joe. My apologies.
Hey, Scott, blessings. I'm gonna throw you in the back as well as Moose, and thank you. Thank you for all who showed up to participate tonight on the panel, in the chat. Much love. Seriously, much love. And please, if you saw things you didn't like about individuals, myself included, if you saw things you didn't like in people you saw in here, recognize that everyone's people. And we're all figuring this stuff out together, particularly finding the finesse of production, right? Growing into this method of communication. So please stay tuned. Do the subscribe, share the channel, share with the opportunity with others so that they might learn of what's going on. And we'll be back same time tomorrow, God willing, God by God's grace. We'll be back again same time tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. West Coast, and do the math from there. But subscribe, stay tuned, and we will see you folks again. In the meantime, between now, today, and tomorrow, the next time, ask yourself, what can I do to increase my relaxation? What can I do to bring myself more bliss, more pleasure, more comfort, so that you've got more to share? And with that, thank you, brothers and sisters. Choose love. Until next time, live without fear. Peace.